AA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. What a scene in Morgantown, West Virginia. This Appalachian rivalry carries over onto the diamond, where it's like the Hatfields and McCoys if there was pine tar involved. Kentucky and West Virginia in a winner-take-all Game 7. The winner heads to a super regional and will likely host. The loser heads home for the summer. Here's what we got. A couple of high-scoring games between these two teams already. Both of them won in the top of the 9th inning. Perhaps we're due for another thriller. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jensen Lewis. The biggest question coming into this game is, how does Kentucky react to the meltdown? Gave up 5 runs in the 9th inning after leading by 3. How do you get off the mat after that?
Well, I think they have the confidence and the wherewithal to do it. And one of the credos of Kentucky baseball, everything expires at midnight. We're going to find out really early if they let it go or if the hangover is true. Well, Caden Clark, back-to-back nights in the 9th, has an error, a walk to load the bases, forwards in a run, a balk ends up tying the game, and it sets the stage for one of the biggest home runs in Mountaineer history. Come on down, Paul Schoenfeld, reservations for 2, a 5-run outburst, forcing a winner-take-all game tonight.
Standing room only here at Kendrick Family Ballpark. They expect to be singing Country Roads again, and we expect a lot more offense. Already 40 runs on 44 hits in the 2 games, and some sloppy play with 8 combined errors. West Virginia has its ace. Max Yale, the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, will return from injury and get the start for the home team. Kentucky, West Virginia, all on the line next. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Picture perfect evening in Morgantown, West Virginia. Temperature in the mid-70s and not a seat to be had. Surprise starter Max Yale left a couple of nights ago due to an injury. He is back. He's the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year and WVU's ace.
And I think the whole question surrounds what will the residual be like from an uncharacteristic, really bad control outing. Didn't make it out of the first, but he will be tasked with trying to provide some length for a very taxed West Virginia bullpen.
6'6", 235. He's 8-2 in 15 starts this season. He didn't become their Friday night starter until late in the year, but he turned in a gem of a complete game on the road against Kansas, the league champs. 95 strikeouts for Yale. Here's his usage.
And you will find a lot of fastball, slider, and curveball from the big left-hander. He's going to have to be able to maintain his emotion, be able to be down in the zone, and be able to pitch ahead in the count to this hyper-aggressive Wildcat lineup.
Here's a batting order for Kentucky. Their superpower is getting on base, mostly by hit by pitch, and then the stolen bases to follow. Luke Lawrence in 2 games against the Mountaineers is 4 for 2 with a couple of doubles and 3 RBI. Kentucky thought they had put this thing on ice in the 7th last night when Tharnish and Bell hit back-to-back 2-out home runs. The defense, the bullpen, the lack of composure said otherwise in the night.
And you see a lineup change. Tyler Cerny, the senior, in for the freshman Caden Clark. It was 2 back-to-back 9th-inning miscues that allowed some rallies. Let us see what unfolds here in Morgantown tonight.
West Virginia hosting for the 3rd time. The Mountaineers have never hosted a super regional. That's right within their reach. If they can knock off Kentucky, Cal Poly will come here next week for a super regional. And then after tonight, you're only 2 wins away from Omaha. Chase Tarnish will lead off for Kentucky. And the first pitch fastball is just a hair low. Brian DeBrouwer has the plate tonight. Tarnish is from Pennsylvania, started his college career at St. Bonaventure. Was a .400 hitter there last year. And he has found his power here. And he sends a soft line drive into right field. It drops for a knock and a leadoff single for Tarnish, who is a devil on the base path.
Rinse and repeat for what he's done here this weekend in Morgantown. The igniter for this Wildcat offense. And again, just a simple swing. Just absolutely perfect. Being able to see it a long time. Service into right field. Already the main stolen base threat aboard here to begin the first.
It was his base running that stole the game a couple of nights ago in the top of the 9th inning when he eventually scored on a wild pitch. And with Tarnish aboard, Tyler Bell looks at a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. Bell turned down the Rays. He was their 2nd round pick coming out of high school in '24 out of Lincoln Way East in Illinois. And he is projected to be a 1st round pick this summer. Draft eligible sophomore. Bell was held in check early in this regional. He's only 3 for 12, but 2 of his 3 hits have left the yard. The outside edge for a strike. What's it like for Max Yale back on the mound after leaving due to an injury and ineffectiveness last time?
Can already tell from a handful of pitches that is a much different demeanor. The fluidity of the mechanics far better than where we saw him exit in the first.
Allowed 2 hits, walked 1, hit 2. He faced 7 batters and was only around for 36 pitches. Of those 36, only 15 were strikes. And with Tyler Bell at the plate, this is a mano-a-mano matchup to get things started. When Bell turned down the Rays coming out of high school, he was the highest rated player to attend college. He said he came to Kentucky not just for the personal development, but he came to win and win a national championship.
The swing he took, the back-to-back home runs last night, you thought were the two haymakers that would have ended West Virginia's season. A slumber for most of this weekend, but his two biggest moments have come here just last night.
So ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Bell, 343 hitter with 9 home runs, and another lob over. With a talent like Bell at the plate, how much is too much running and worrying about the base runner?
I think it's fine. Again, you're trying to keep this game right in your palm. You want to be able to be okay with shutting down the run game.
Bell fouls it straight back.
Obviously, Tarnish, one of the toughest guys to be able to take out at second base. Just caught 4 times in his career. He is a menace. He will make you distracted no matter what kind of pitcher is on the mound.
And tipped into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. Big out from Max Yale here in the opening inning.
Oh, that is a great sign for Max Yale. This is a curveball that is a little elevated in the zone. Might have caught Tyler Bell by surprise, expecting a little more depth to it, but a big first out and a really nice job with holding the runner at first. Tarnish not able to get kind of a jump.
Now Luke Lawrence. Lawrence has proven to be the heart and soul of this Kentucky team. He took a fastball off the knee against Wake Forest when he was attempting to bunt. And the only ill effects we've seen from him from a production standpoint is they've taken him out the field and put him as a DH. Tarnish on the run, and it's lifted into the berm on the left side.
Yeah, Brooks Wallace Award semifinalist. Highly decorated hockey player from Chicago. Well, he knew when he took 97 off the inside of the kneecap, it took him a while to get up, but the old hockey player in him, he was not going to be denied.
Four for 10 in the 2 games against the Mountaineers. Lawrence had 2 hits last night and misses away. Kentucky's offense had 9 runs on 13 hits last night. They're able to score a couple early thanks to some West Virginia miscues. That included a bases loaded walk, but they left the bases loaded and had a missed opportunity. Tarnish not going into left field. This is Matthew Gravlin. 2 down. So Kentucky in danger of not advancing the leadoff runner, Tarnish, who's got 31 bags on the season. Gavin Kelly is the catcher for West Virginia. He's a true pro prospect, might be the first college player taken off the board in the draft next year. And he's versatile. We saw him play the last 2 games at second base.
Talk about just an all-around phenomenal talent. Gavin Kelly epitomizes that and then some.
He has thrown out 33% of would-be base stealers as Hudson Brown fouls off the first.
I think it's funny, we talked to Max Yale before this regional started, and of his teammate and battery mate said he's a freak and he doesn't even know it. He just does stuff that's otherworldly, and well, it's just another day of the week for him.
There goes Tarnish, great jump, and didn't matter because Brown gets plunked. What did you learn about the errant throws from Yale 2 nights ago?
Well, it sounded like there was just an issue of soreness, and when you watch the fastball command of a Big 12 pitcher of the year, that's a breaking ball that just gets away from him, didn't really finish through the delivery. But the indicator early for me was missing arm side. That means you're not able to really complete the throw through as you traditionally would if things were normal. An early indicator for him that that outing was going awry.
2 aboard for the Cats. Yale has thrown 12 pitches to the plate. He's probably thrown 12 towards Yarnish on the bases. Ethan Hindle, who's got 4 hits this weekend, junior from Delafield, Wisconsin, has 11 home runs. He's finishing really strong, hitting .383 in the month of May. Now 0-2 to Hindle.
Tell you what I'm liking right here. Already you can see it. It's 90 to 91, and the velo is between 90 and 94 usually, but already a crispness we didn't see a couple of nights ago.
Yale is coming off of Tommy John surgery. Didn't pitch last season. They tried to give him some cushion throughout the course of the year with some days off here and there. Here's the 0-2, and they'll wait again. In fact, they sat him for a weekend during Big 12 play to make sure he was fresh. And he's the Big 12 pitcher of the year after, TJ, when it's normal for you to return to full form 2 years after. He's got Hindle in a hole. Runners on the move and just off the plate with 92. Double steal as Tarnish ends up at third and Brown replaces him at second.
Something to monitor here. Obviously, winner go home scenario. Will it be tight for both sides on the corners? Early indication. Going to have to make your pitch.
Hindle has struggled this season against lefties. He's hitting about 50 points lower against left-handers than right-handers. But he's got 11 home runs overall. He's driven in 52. That's a team high. And Hindle staying alive.
Yale, a reverse splits guy, meaning he is better against right-handers than left-handers. Just a .183 average against. Already some good swings, though, from Hindle. Anytime you see balls fouled straight back, usually means the hitter is seeing it well.
2-2. Onto the hill on the right side. They're making Yale work. This will be his 20th pitch of the opening inning.
He's going to feel relief just to collect 3 outs, knowing that he wanted every opportunity to be the man here this weekend. No bigger start than Game 7.
Tarnish at second, or third, Brown at second, and the breaking ball's in there for strike 3 looking. Couple of Ks in the first for Yale. And West Virginia holds Kentucky scoreless in the opening frame for the first time in 3 games this weekend.
Max Yale. Big pitch, big moment. Mountaineers to the bat rack.
High drive deep right. Van Cleve. Madness in Morgantown. A 2-run go-ahead home run for Paul Schoenfeld. I can honestly say I've never seen a scene like we had last night, and that led into country roads and a West Virginia win. It felt like a steel cage match, and well, the intensity might get ratcheted up once again tonight, but easy start to this so far. That home run for Schoenfeld was his 4th of the year, and Armani Guzman's got a 9-game postseason history going.
Little change in the lineup yesterday for head coach Steve Sabins ends up becoming fruitful, and Guzman to the leadoff spot, the igniter in front of the man, Gavin Kelly, and Paul Schoenfeld probably not buying a drink the rest of the time he's a resident of Morgantown anytime soon.
Here's 21-year-old senior Jackson Soucy, 6'5", 240, 0-2 with a 3.57 ERA, just his 6th career start, first in a Kentucky uniform.
Well, for him, fastball, curveball, but here we go. This is going to be that opener type scenario, high in-zone strike rate. Let's see if he challenges early.
Soucy faced 1 batter last night. He walked him. And Nick Mingio telling us before the game, he said, this is a scenario where I have to have guys that are going to be in the zone. And he's got their highest in-zone rate. One out, Armani Guzman is fouled off. Guzman's impressing a lot of folks with his weekend here in Morgantown. Junior from New York City. Played his college ball in the mountains, high school ball, I should say, in the mountains of North Georgia before starting at Georgia Southern. Guzman, Kelly, and Schoenfeld for West Virginia here in the first. It was interesting speaking with Nick Mingione about how they came up with Jackson Soucy as a starter.
It was for a team that has accountability. He wanted the players to kind of be amongst themselves, decide who would you want out there. They stood all the pitchers up, and it was players only who went with Jackson Soucy.
The only limits they were given was here are the few guys that will not start today. That includes Jackson Jelkin, who we'll see out of the bullpen. So he sat 3 pitchers down and he said, okay, you decide, we will leave the room. 8 minutes later, the coaching staff walked in. The players had decided on Jackson Soucy.
How cool is that?
Two balls and 2 strikes for Armani Guzman. 7 hits this weekend, 3 of them doubles. And he chased 90 up. Soucy's got a K, 1 down.
Already a good sign here as the Kentucky faithful applauding a big first out. I know it's just the first out of your outing, but the jitters are real. The adrenaline's pumping. High cheese fastball, a little deceptive at 90 miles an hour, but a little free air conditioning to start for the big left-hander.
And here's the biggest prospect on the West Virginia roster. It's Gavin Kelly. First team all Big 12, sophomore from Pittsburgh Central Catholic High School. Plays middle infield and catches. He can play anywhere. And one of the reasons his coach loves him in the lineup so much, he leads the nation in barrels. 6 for 16 with a couple of home runs over the course of this regional, 1-1.
It's an incredible approach, just a very centered human being, wise beyond his years, composed. And when you have the game on the line, that's the man you want up.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Kelly. Had a sac fly in the 9th inning last night. Everybody in the ballpark that wasn't a Kentucky fan dreamed that that was leaving the yard right when it came off the bat.
Well, it certainly looked that way with a follow-through. Just missing.
Great eye at the plate, as many walks as strikeouts. Schoenfeld, last night's hero, waits on deck.
You can kind of tell the strategy too. Great to know that the players wanted Jackson Soucy, but I think objectively Nick Mingione somewhere deep inside probably hoping that was the way they wanted to go with the 2 left-handers to start.
Talk to folks around this West Virginia program. They'll say Kelly is the next J.J. Weatherholt, and that is quite a compliment for Cardinals players on the running for National League Rookie of the Year already. He said, like J.J., who led the nation in hitting his sophomore year on a big field, big conference, cold weather, all of that plays up at the next level. 2-2.
Under-recruited too, just like J.J. Weatherholt, and has made a name for himself. Someone that this Mountaineer contingent rely upon day in and day out as a great leader.
It's a .299 hitter last year, .379 now as a sophomore. And will spend at least part of his summer with the USA national team, the national college team. Just the second Mountaineer to do that, joining Weatherholt, who did it in 23. Soucy, Cade Guzman. And now he's got 2 strikes on Kelly. And it's driven to the gap in left center field. Long run for Hansen. That one will hop right over the fence for a 1-out double for Gavin Kelly.
Well, mistakes in the zone are going to be paramount to take advantage of. West Virginia left a small village on the base pass last night, and it came back almost to haunt them. But that is a big league swing from one of the best big league prospects in college baseball. And he represents the first man in scoring position tonight for the Mountaineers.
A hearty ovation for Paul Schoenfeld. And for good reason. Schoenfeld, as you labeled it, one of the biggest home runs in West Virginia history last night.
Well, again, considering the moment and where they were mentally with the season on the line, from behind, tied, and then ahead for good.
Only 4 home runs on the season. His 4th was a banger, in for a strike. West Virginia only had 2 extra base hits last night, despite having 10 hits in the game. And if you were with us yesterday, you may remember that in game 1 against Wake Forest, Schoenfeld dove for a ball in center field in the 9th inning and had apparently injured his shoulder. So we weren't certain that he was going to be in the starting lineup for game 2. Cannot be playing at 100%. On the ground. Good reach by Bell. He's got speed, but he's able to take care of Schoenfeld.
Oh, man, that is a big-time play up the middle. That ball had some eyes, and arguably one of the best that you'll see have his name called here in a month's time. Tyler Bell, silky smooth, with an incredibly athletic play for out number 2.
And that brings Sean Smith to the plate. Smith's weekend may kind of epitomize the sloppiness that we've seen all over the place in this regional.
Yes.
He has 3 hits, and he's been hit by a pitch 5 times. In fact, Smith was hit by a pitch to force in a run in the 1st inning last night.
How about that? 5 of his 9 hit by pitches this season coming this weekend.
The West Virginia team hitting .304 through 5 games, averaging 10 runs a game in this regional with 5 home runs. And they've been really good on the base paths. Swing and a miss. It gets to the backstop. Here comes Kelly. And West Virginia's on the board. And Smith is at first base. Nick Mingione is going to come out and have a word with Brian DeBrouwer. What did he see?
Well, let's start with the epidemic, and it's not just been the Kentucky catching situation. It's been an issue with pass balls, wild pitches, allowing runs to score all weekend.
Mingione wanted him to talk about it and see if maybe that ball was tipped.
A great read by Gavin Kelly, seeing it down, anticipating it, and on instinct going as quickly as possible.
So strikeout wild pitch brings a run home as Matthew Graveline stands in. Remember, Kentucky beat West Virginia a couple of nights ago on a wild pitch when Jace Tarnish scrambled home from 3rd.
Thought we'd be in the twilight zone if we had a scoreless 1st inning between these two.
Graveline sends it down the line, and that one's foul. I feel like we've been in the twilight zone of pepperoni rolls all weekend. It has just been a weird weekend of baseball here in Morgantown.
And just crooked numbers, too, where if one side lands a haymaker, it feels like the other comes back.
Yeah, West Virginia has 11 free runs this weekend from their opponents' 2 balks, 4 on errors, 2 on hit by pitch, 1 on a wild pitch, 1 on a pass ball, 1 on a walk. More than a quarter of their runs scored have been gifts from the opposition. Can we get some VHS machines in here and play the Tom Emanski video, or would it be any help?
How many of these kids know who Tom Emanski is the better question.
None. They, by the way, ruled out a pass ball on Owen Jenkins, his 5th of the year. Although those trucker hats are coming back in style, like Fred McGriff was wearing. 1-2 now. This is a winner-take-all Game 7 regional between 2 teams who have built A mountain-sized rivalry in the postseason over the last few years. On the field, off the field, there's been a lot of chirping earlier in the first game between these two. A couple of years ago, West Virginia went to Lexington for the regional. There were no hotels available. They had to stay in dorms. They took that personally. Another mistake, and Sean Smith picks up another 90 feet.
Now, you asked off the top here tonight. One of the credos for Kentucky is everything expires at midnight. Would you be able to shake what happened in the 9th inning and rebound here in the first? Teetering a bit here is Jackson Soucy trying to keep this just to 1 run for the Mountaineers.
2-2 to Gravelin. Misses low. There's one big change for Kentucky on the infield. Tyler Cerny is getting his first start of the regional. Freshman Caden Cloud had been at the hot corner and committed a pair of 9th inning errors each of the last 2 games against West Virginia. That was charged a wild pitch to Soucy. Here's the 3-2 to Gravelin. And it's in there for strike 3, and Kentucky gets off the field, but not before a pass ball and a wild pitch in a 27 pitch inning for Jackson Soucy. The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Those are the free seats up on the hill near the medical center. Don't worry, there's a special driving lane if you're a patient and need to get into the hospital. Otherwise, there's a beer garden, there's plenty of free coolers and fantastic sight lines that don't cost you a dime.
Might even see former Mountaineer head coach Randy Mazey find his way up there.
Pretty good odds. Here's Braxton Van Cleve to lead off the second for Kentucky. Van Cleve is a true freshman. You wouldn't know it. Out of Arlington, Texas. He had Tommy John surgery coming out of high school, 6'3", 220. He was a high school quarterback there, and he rips one to the right side, backhanded by Guzman. And he takes it to the bag for out number 1.
Well, if you're West Virginia, you got to be very pleased thus far with Max Yale. First of all, a clean first inning as far as a 0. And just kind of looking at how he's moving around, Tom, it feels like this is a much different, more positive, physically looking Max Yale this time around.
What's going through Tyler Cerny's mind right now? It's his first plate appearance this weekend. First start for Cerny, and the offering is up and away, 1-0. Senior from Greenwood, Indiana. Plenty of playing time over the course of the season, but just a 176 average and 1 home run.
Bottom of the lineup has been a place where Kentucky has been able to get some big innings going here as of late.
2-1 now to Cerny. And you said the bottom of the lineup. This cannot be a place where either pitching staff plays around tonight.
No, not at all, because that has led to crooked number after crooked number for both sides.
And a breaking ball in for a strike to Cerny. Another picture perfect night for baseball here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Defensive swing. Cerny knows this ballpark really well. Last summer he was playing right here for the West Virginia Black Bears in the Collegiate Summer League. Played in the MLB Draft League. And he led the league in hitting with a .341 average over 24 games. Breaking ball stays up and away again. He transferred in from Indiana after 3 seasons with the Hoosiers. Here's a 3-2 to Cerny. And a swing and a miss for the 3rd strikeout for Max Yale.
That's a good slider right there. Good hard one at 85. You're really seeing him finish through the release point and the delivery. This is exactly what you draw up. Tough to square up if you're opposing hitters when you've got that late break and down angle. Now this looks much more like the Big 12 pitcher of the year and the big left-hander.
Fastball up to Carson Hansen. Ramon Amendere said he didn't go. And the count 1-0. Hansen just 1 for 9 this weekend. Senior from Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Transferred in from Wisconsin, Milwaukee. By the way, his former teammates get Auburn tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, with a super regional trip on the line.
What a day it's been already. Upsets early. St. John's defeating Florida State. Potentially more on the way this afternoon.
Yale's 1-2 to Hansen. Pulled foul.
For what it's worth, I mean, if you're Max Yale, probably a huge sigh of relief coming off after a scoreless first, and then to come back out and have feel for all 3 pitches right now, huge confidence booster.
Little dribbler to Einish. Got it by a step. 1-2-3 frame. Work by Max Yale. Just a 14-pitch inning. We'll see how much more juice the ace has in him.
Welcome to Squeeze Play. All the highlights, all the big moments.
Get a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag squeeze play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
The historical season will continue.
Well, we don't want you leaving here, but that's a great place to be as well. You can second screen it, and you'll see that Oklahoma just upset Georgia Tech, and the Sooners are heading to a super regional for the first time since reaching the Men's College World Series Finals in 22. That means the #1 seed and the #2 seeds in this entire tournament have both been eliminated, UCLA and Georgia Tech. Einish pops up the short, one down.
That means #3 Georgia, who is advanced and knows their super regional opponent. That would be the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Georgia remains the highest seed, and the top 2 are out. Unbelievable chaos this weekend.
It'll be an old Big 8 matchup to see who goes to Omaha, with Oklahoma and Kansas going head-to-head. Kansas had never hosted a regional. Now the Jayhawks will host a super regional. Brody Kresser looks at a first pitch strike, 0-1. Kresser is senior from Jessup, Iowa. And he fouls this one off. There's probably more people on that hill than in his entire hometown, certainly more in this ballpark. Jessup population about 2,500. So Jessup's favorite son looking to make an impact here.
I'd say there's more people. I would say we're at least that, and then we don't even see the people behind that are still tailgating.
Fair point. Started his career at Des Moines Area Community College, and he goes down swinging. That is the 4th strikeout now for Jackson Soucy. How long do you think they stick with Soucy?
So again, in talking with Nick Mingione, of course, would not reveal his cards here, but you would have to believe this is inning by inning, and it's about strike throwing. Honestly, Tom, that's what has eluded both these teams at many points these last couple of days. And so you go with the hot hand until you see it crack a little bit.
Steve Stabens is talking with home plate umpire Brian DeBrouwer in advance of Ben Lumsden coming to the plate. Nobody throwing in the Kentucky bullpen. No one stirring in the WVU bullpen.
You got to think for West Virginia, Chanson Cole, who started this regional for them, is a potential option.
Lumsden came in the postseason with only 10 starts on the year. He has started every game in the regional, and he provided a boost with a big home run game 1 against Binghamton. In that game, West Virginia had a pair of 5-run innings. 5 in the 4th and 5 in the 6th.
Chanson Cole right there.
And a swing and a miss, 2-1. Senior from Simpsonville, South Carolina, at a TL Mann High School. Lumsden 5 for 11 with that home run and a double this weekend. Think we'll see Chanson Cole tonight?
I would have to believe so. If it's a lead, it's an opportunity to change it up a bit off the big left-hander Max Yale, just stuff-wise, knowing he is a ground ball magician.
Cole started the regional opener against Binghamton. He threw 94 pitches. He was standing in the bullpen and starting to get loose late in the game last night, but wasn't used.
Well, bottom of the lineup here for the Mountaineers, very similar to the Wildcats. Have been able to get some 2-out rallies going. Lumsden and the man on deck, Tyrus Hall, been right in the middle of it.
Hall's driven in 4 already this weekend, and Lumsden has drawn 7 walks. It's been the patience at the bottom of the order and the willingness to take the gifts that they're given, just like that, a 2-out walk.
Something you don't want to do, especially early in the ball game, already down 1. Extra outs given to this West Virginia home offense. Steve Sabins, again, you see the record, 11th overall season, but his second at the helm after 9 brilliant years from Randy Mazey. Had a chance to catch up with him earlier tonight. You knew he'd be in the building, front and center.
Here's Tyrus Hall, and he looks at a first pitch strike. Hall provides almost a second leadoff hitter in the 9-hole for West Virginia. He's got 17 stolen bases. However, he's had a hard time with strikeouts. He leads the team by 20 with 77 Ks on the year.
Right-handers have given Jackson Soucy a bit of trouble this year. 273 average against, far better than the 212 against lefties.
In for a strike, 1-2. Hall has started every game but one this season at third base. Came to Morgantown from Bossier Parish Community College, where he played over 100 games over 2 seasons. Lumsden not going anywhere. 2-2.
So again, if you're Soucy here, you've been pretty methodical, you've been pretty consistent. Again, keep that pitch-to-pitch mentality. Try and challenge here so you don't get opportunities for the top.
Fouls off the breaking ball. Kentucky and West Virginia have become postseason rivals over the last handful of years and very familiar with each other. They've even faced each other in the offseason. In the fall, West Virginia and Kentucky met up in an exhibition, and swinging another foul tip strikeout. That is the 5th K for Jackson Soucy in 2 innings. 1-0 West Virginia.
One 0 West Virginia, and their main man has looked the part tonight. Left-hander Max Yale, very crisp in his first 2 innings tonight. 3 strikeouts on 33 pitches. Much more dialed in, the command more crisp. Breaking ball has been sharp, and he is already off to a much better start than where he was just a couple of nights ago.
Well, a couple of nights ago when he left due to an injury, we weren't sure if we'd see him again. Coming off of Tommy John and then having the training staff work on his tricep once he was back in the dugout. Owen Jenkins, a 9-hole hitter, looks at the first pitch away, 1-0. And that was a deflating moment, not just for this West Virginia team, but the entire fan base.
Pressed Ian Korn into duty, who was probably slated for action yesterday.
Down the line, foul.
And that really kind of upset where Steve Sabins probably was looking to save some bullpen resources. But Korn was extremely valiant in relief And it's just not something you come to the ballpark thinking as a starting pitcher, even as a bulk reliever, that, oh, I'm going to have to be ready right in the first.
But Yale may not be the only ineffective starting pitcher that gets a chance in this one. Ben Cleaver threw a third of an inning last night and left the game after 23 pitches, and he will be on the list of availability for Kentucky tonight. Ball and 2 strikes now to Jenkins, who is 2 for 11 this weekend. He's been hit twice. Right back at him and past the hip, backhanded by Kresser. Nice play by the second baseman. And so 1 down. And for complete coverage of everything happening with the regionals, head to ncaa.com for the latest news, expert insight, and analysis. And with that Oklahoma upset of Georgia Tech, it'll be OU and Kansas in a super regional. The winner of this one gets Cal Poly. Supers set include St. John's going to Alabama, Oregon heading to Texas, Mississippi State heading to Georgia. Swing and a miss for Jace Tarnish. We are still in a scenario, given the Oklahoma upset and given the matchup supers, the SEC could have the entire field in Omaha. I mean, we're a long ways from that happening, but we could have an SEC team in every super regional. And so therefore, it could be the Greg Sankey invitation.
Oh, shout out to our friend of the program, CJ Nikowski. Loving to see his Johnnies at least have a chance to upset the apple cart there by going to supers.
Tarnish has a bloop single to his name, a soft line drive to start the game, and now they count 1-2. This is a Kentucky offense which was at best middle of the pack in the SEC during the regular season. 8th in average at 285, second to last in power and home runs specifically, 10th in the league in scoring. What do they do well? They get on base via the hit by pitch, 4th in the country. Led the SEC in sacrifice bunts and top 25 in the country in stolen bases. Yale notches another K. That's his 4th. 2 down.
He has been absolutely in control, and the late depth on the breaking ball has been much more notable tonight. Right-handers have really struggled to at least make contact. If he's got that tonight, he is going to put a lot of pressure on this Kentucky offense.
And here's Tyler Bell. Bell struck out swinging first time up against Yale. And Bell takes one. They don't move. This is part of the attack.
Yeah, 19th, I believe, hit by pitch, you know, for Tyler Bell, and just a day that ends in Y that we have a hit by pitch of a Kentucky hitter. Trouble brewing if you allow him into scoring position, have to deal with the middle of this Kentucky order.
That is a 12th hit by pitch in this regional. They're 4th in the country. And that number just keeps climbing. And by the way, when Luke Lawrence took 97 off the knee a few days ago against Wake Forest, that doesn't count in the total because he didn't pull the bat back attempting the bunt. They ruled that he had offered at it. Now he's wearing a knee pad on that left knee. Nick Mingione, his head coach, raved. They got a pickoff here. Guzman steps in front, throws a one-hopper to second, and he's safe. West Virginia's thinking to challenge. Matt Inez thought he had the tag on him.
Well, Armani Guzman, I think, had more time than he realized, and it throws a short hop, and that's the difference right now as it looks. Ooh, I think he might have gotten him. That's awfully close. But Guzman probably had a chance to at least set his feet, make an accurate throw, and that play would have never been close. Does he get him before foot strike on the base? Call in the field was safe. Guzman kind of with a wry grin there, knowing that make a better throw, and we're running back to the bat rack.
They had Bell dead to rights. Remember, Guzman has an outfield assist to his name in this series. That came against Kentucky. Here's the rush.
I just wonder, does he get him on the left leg, and was the right foot in contact with the base before the tag was applied? That angle, our best we've seen so far. And will there be enough evidence to overturn the safe call on the field?
John Brammer's the second base umpire. He was right there. I think the foot beat it by a fraction.
Either way, another two-out opportunity if Tyler Bell is indeed safe at second.
Well, they are working hard tonight back in the replay center just up the road in Pittsburgh. You can see exactly what they're watching from the replay operations center. That is the view that they are currently using on the right.
Taking a fair amount of time here too, and just wonder how much they got to frame by frame it to see where that foot strike was.
Now Kentucky trying to get it going. It was Bell. Now here's the call.
After review, the call's overturned. Runners out.
But that. That gets West Virginia off the field. Nothing doing with the hit by pitch to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Mountaineers. West Virginia with a 1-0 lead as the Mountaineers are looking to reach Super Regionals for the third consecutive season. They didn't have a single Super Regional appearance from '99 to '23, and now they're regulars in the postseason. And Kentucky looking to get to the Supers for the third time in the last 4 years. Having to go through each other a couple of times, including last season in Clemson when Kentucky knocked off the host Tigers, and then West Virginia came from behind with a 6-run eighth in the regional final to better them and move on to the Baton Rouge regional. And Nick Mingione nice enough to put a headset on and join us now. Coach, thanks for joining us. I guess first and foremost, what was your biggest concern in trying to get your guys to move past last night's result?
Concern, I'm not sure. I did have the thought, like, here we go.
And a drag bunt for Armani Guzman, and he's aboard. Kind of no man's land over there, and Coach Mingione fighting with his headset. Nothing's easy, right?
I mean, seriously.
All right, we got it now.
Biggest concern, I just wanted to see and lay eyes on my team in the morning, just to make sure that they have moved on. And obviously that was a gut-wrenching defeat last night, but man, they were great. When I got a chance to communicate with them and spend time with them, I knew we were going to be good.
Coach, I know the biggest decision, or at least one of them, was who do you at least start with tonight, and then does it go inning by inning? Susi has looked really composed so far.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we met as a team, and I shared with you guys how we went about it, and the players got an opportunity to have a say in it, and they got some skin in the game, which I know I always appreciated when my coaches in college did that for us. So, yeah, we got them involved, and this is who they picked, and we were great with it.
Nick, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
Head coach Nick Mingione. And a huge moment in this one with the leadoff runner on and Gavin Kelly at the plate for West Virginia. He doubled and scored in the first.
Well, Susi has been really impressive thus far, and a couple of things that have really gone in his favor. Again, pitching ahead in the count. A lot of first pitch strikes for him tonight, but he has been very good executing the breaking ball. Right now, 5 of the first 9.
Outside 1-1.
Ira Austin, who's the fireman for this Kentucky bullpen, starting to loosen.
He would be used in any early high leverage situation. I also learned right before we went on the air that Jackson Jelkin is not only available tonight, but he threw a little bit on the side during batting practice. He wants to go, and he wants to go maybe earlier than we expected.
And probably be a clean inning for Jelkin, if anything.
Inside on Kelly. I don't think he's coming in anytime soon.
And that, or we're just getting the obliques kind of warmed up and making sure everything is ready to rock and fire, maybe a little bit later.
Kentucky is playing in a regional final for the 4th consecutive season. Let that sink in. No other SEC team can say that. And when you consider the resources, where baseball stands on the campus of Kentucky, being the northernmost team in the SEC, that is an amazing accomplishment for Nick Mingione, who took him to Omaha just a few seasons ago.
And to think what an uphill battle it is for resources, and just in the conference to compete week in and week out. An incredible accomplishment for this program.
3-1 to Kelly. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike, full count.
Well, this is going to be a pitch of decision here. Do you start the runner to try and get a little chaos? Wide open space on the right side of the infield.
Hindle now moving back that direction a few steps. Remember, Guzman has elite speed. Got some burners at the top of both batting orders. And last night, Tiro waits on deck. Another pickoff. This one to second, and didn't get the tag down.
My goodness. The fundamentals on both sides in these key situations have gone by the wayside in some respects. Boy, of all people, Tyler Bell. Wow. Right there. And Guzman, yeah, it looked like he didn't even, did he tag him on the back? If he did, it by the slimmest of margins.
3-2 pitch is pulled to third. Cerny's first chance. That's good. Back across the diamond. They get one, but it advances Guzman.
Now
it's a hold your breath kind of moment with ground balls to third if you're a Kentucky fan this weekend.
Indeed, and that extra 90 feet now could loom even larger because it's a great read here from Guzman. He's going to go as soon as the throw is made, already predetermined. Now within scoring position with less than 2 outs.
Here's Paul Schoenfeld. Oh for 1 of the ground out to short, infield in. And Kentucky has a scouting report on Schoenfeld. His kryptonite is the breaking ball. He's under the Mendoza line against all breaking balls this year. And he pushes the bunt foul. 0-2. The guy hit the game-winning home run last night. Then they're trying to squeeze a run home with him.
What is it with the 3-hole hitters in these two teams lineup? Luke Lawrence, he'll bunt it. Schoenfeld, element of surprise, perhaps. The people are saying, go hit it in the seats like you did last night, big fella.
Also added a double to his resume last night. The West Virginia walk-off win. No, pardon me, it wasn't a walk-off. They were the visiting team, and all those heroics came in the top of the ninth. Postseason baseball.
Now, Soucy has accumulated 5 strikeouts thus far. This could be the biggest of his outing to try and keep this a 1-run deficit.
Schoenfeld taps it. Bell can't come home. Didn't have enough time. They get the run across, and you can see the exasperation in Tyler Bell's face when he saw how far down the line Armani Guzman was.
Well, it won't be an error charged to anyone in the infield earlier in the inning, but already a miscue that has cost them a run. They had Guzman dead to rights between first and second. He eludes the tag, and now he scampers home. Fundamental baseball for another big-time run here early in this ball game, and Guzman yet again a clinic on the base pass here tonight.
John Smith ambushes the first. The top spin single to left.
Ira Austin would be next, it looks like, getting warm in a hurry. And then there he is. Jackson Jelkin has picked up a ball and is now starting to play some catch.
He is the Kentucky ace. Through game 1 against Wake Forest. Matthew Gravlin looks at a strike, 0-1. Soucy was a starter in a part-time role for South Carolina last year before he transferred to Kentucky, and this is his longest outing since May 13th of 25. It came in a midweek start against Winthrop. This is his first start this season. He had been used exclusively out of the bullpen.
Well, the way that Kentucky had struggled to throw strikes consistently, it was the best option. It's looked pretty solid to start, but West Virginia has been able to grind some at-bats and make some plays in key situations.
Runner on the move, and it's fouled off. I think one of the questions these staffs have to ask themselves when it comes to what they do out of the bullpen is, what kind of game is this going to be? Is this going to be a 4-3, 5-3 game? Or is this going to be like the first two that they played, where there's going to be ebbs and flows and you're going to give up a big inning here or there but have time to come back?
Remember yesterday, multiple relievers with multiple innings. Niall Adcock, 3 innings. Chase Alderman, 2 1/3. Tommy Skelding, an inning and 2/3. A lot of guys going to have to dig deep here tonight.
So do you think this would be a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game?
I mean, you just don't have enough bodies. If you keep running tired arms out there, and that's what they are, that's both sides, you're asking for trouble with fatigue and balls elevated in the zone.
So there's another element to that conversation. If you assume it's going to be a high-scoring game on both sides, maybe you can stick with Soucy or some other pitchers just a hair longer. And if they give up a couple in a 14-run game, 2's not going to kill you.
If we're looking at revisionist history, we're due for 20 runs at some point tonight.
Chipped it foul off of the foot of Matthew Gravlin.
Now, flip side here is, what was our outlier tonight? What could we expect from Max Yale? Well, the early answer is the dominance that earned him the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year award. Soucy has kind of held himself together here
Well, do you think he's going to be good for 8 innings?
No, if you get 5 out of Maxiell tonight after what's transpired, I think
that'll shorten the game. But he's not going to be here for a CG.
I don't think so.
Gravlin's been strikeout prone this weekend. He's 4 for 17 with 6 Ks. But he's battled back in this at bat. Soucy's payoff with 2 down. It'll wait a moment.
If you're playing along at home where you are in the order, Einish to lefty next, you would think that Soucy would at least get a chance to get him with Presser in the hole. And to be direct with you, you also have to set a threshold. What are you comfortable deficit-wise? If it gets to 3 or more, then that automatically tells you Jelkin is going to have to be in here to at least shut down that opposing offense.
Is Soucy going over on his own, or are they buying time for the pen?
I think they're buying time, absolutely.
And Jelkin now on the mound, getting loose, the Kentucky ace. There's ball 4. Gravlin works a walk with 2 down, and Smith pushed to second. And Matt Einish comes up 0 for 1 with a pop up to short.
So still an out at any base if you're the Kentucky defense. And pitching coach Dan Rozelle going to come out and A, probably at least talk situationally, B, buy a little more time as Jelkin continues to loosen here.
So which scouting report wins when a guy has reverse splits? Because Matt Einish is hitting .356 against lefties with an OPS of 1020.
I mean, I would say that if Einish wants it right now, I would rather be facing Soucy than Jelkin.
Sure.
At the same time, my eyes tell me that Soucy tonight with the breaking ball, that's been a great weapon for him. However, your problem, we've already had an issue with a ball getting to the backstop that's cost him a run. That's certainly in the back of his head, and I don't want to put 2 guys in scoring position where 1 hit scores them both.
Meeting over, and now with 2 on and 2 out, Matt Einish waits at the plate. And a first pitch strike. Einish is a sophomore from South Lyon, Michigan, out of Detroit Catholic Central. And he sends it to left field. Hansen has it, and Kentucky escapes any more damage. Leadoff man reaps, and then Armani Guzman started to track me.
Manufacture some runs in a Game 7 winner take all. Anyway, anyhow, find your way on, find your way over, and cash them on in with an opportunity to punch your ticket to the Super Regional.
It's a 2-0 lead for West Virginia, top of the 4th inning. Mountaineers head coach Steve Saban's nice enough to join us. Coach, you've got your ace on the hill. Can you kind of walk us through what the last few days have been like for Maxiell getting him to this point?
Man, he just worked to get ready, worked to prepare, worked to recover, had some shoulder soreness, and just attacked it every day, man. He was doing needling and cold tub and finding a way to feel good. And last night called me and said, I want the ball. And I said, hey, I'm in, but we got to make sure you're 100% good. There's no crutch. There's nothing that's going to prevent you from being excellent. He said, I feel like $1 million. I'm ready to roll. So hard to argue with the Big 12 pitcher of the year wanting the ball.
Amen to that, Coach. You made a little lineup switch with Guzman to the top. Obviously, Gavin Kelly in the 2 spot. How do you like the dynamic duo so far?
They're doing awesome. Those guys are leaders. They're veterans. They want to win for this state and this university, and they play to win every single pitch. So it's one of those situations where you put those guys early in the order and let them do their thing.
We'll let you get back to work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Head coach Steve Saban, second year as the head man here in Morgantown after a number of years as an assistant to Randy Mazey. And Brody Kresser looks at the breaking ball up. Any head coach wants to hear from his ace. I'm ready. Give me the ball.
It's an easy answer. I mean, you've been competing your entire fall and winter and into spring ball to be the guy.
Well, he saw something that he wasn't happy about, and with Yale behind in the count 2-0 to Lawrence, got a visit early in this inning and in this at bat. And as he goes out there, there'll be a couple of guys stirring now in the West Virginia pen. 50 pitches total. I also like what he said. Listen, it's one thing for you want to go and to want the ball. We just got to make sure that you have the ability to give us your best.
And our thought process as we came into tonight, how much can you expect from him? To me, if you got to 5 innings, that was an A effort, and then you turn it over. We saw Jansen Cole, who was in the pen last night potentially in relief work, has started to make his way to the West Virginia bullpen.
So one easy way to do that, by limiting your pitches, limit the free passes. You got away with the hit batter in the 3rd due to the pickoff that ended the inning. Now in for a strike to Lawrence. You can also look at this Kentucky batting order and say, from an attack standpoint, there are very few guys who can hit the ball over the fence. They're not going to hurt you with the bases empty. They hurt you by walking and taking HBPs and then creating chaos.
What I like, though, tonight, and I think what has been the elixir, is when you know as a pitcher that you've got your fastball and you can put it where you want. That completely opens your mind and allows you to get to the wipeout stuff. That's what you've seen from his breaking balls tonight.
And the breaking ball's in there for strike 3 on Lawrence. 5th K for Maxiell.
Beautifully executed. Great sequence from Gavin Kelly as well. And when you give yourself a chance to change eye level, you can get some of these in-betweens where guys can't make up their mind, maybe looking for something else. Was Luke Lawrence punching tickets watching the show on that one.
And he's got 100 Ks on the season now. This is Hudson Brown, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Bends away from that one. Brown's another guy with reverse splits. The lefties hitting lefties at a 420 clip coming in with an OPS of 1225. Doesn't always make sense, doesn't have to make sense. And he launches it to right field, lumps him back at the wall. It's gone. Just a 6th home run of the season for Hudson Brown. Well, you can take that scouting report of lack of power, wad it up and throw it in the can. Kentucky second to last in the SEC in home runs. And now Brown with a solo 1-out shot.
First mistake of the night, out over the big part of the plate for Maxiell. And Hudson Brown at attention, ready to strike. Foot down, extension, and deep into the early dusk into right center field, almost off the Biomechanics and Performance Center. And the lead is cut in half.
And here's Ethan Hindle. 1 run in and 1 out. This is the 3rd hit of this regional for Brown. He has as many hits as hit by pitches. Hindle came into the postseason hot. The last regular season series came at home against Arkansas. He went 8 for 13 with a couple of doubles and a home run. Wisconsin native, his family originally from England. His dad David played cricket and rugby at the University of London. And he's taken up his dad's hobby, both rugby and cricket. So it comes in on a short hop. See if he can handle a wicked googly.
Thought you were going to get a Gorlock in there too.
There may be a Gorlock around tonight. 2-2.
Well, you're looking at Hindle, led the team last year in on base. Guy that has been really disciplined this weekend, has shown a penchant to drive up some pitch counts, have some long ABs as well.
Yale bounces back and another K. That's his 6th. Mariners head to Baltimore to take on the Orioles on Thursday, June 11th. Catch a first pitch 7 Eastern on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Pete Alonso, former Florida Gator, his team in action tonight, trying to stay alive in its own Gainesville Regional. First pitch popped up by Braxton Van Cleve. Tyrus Hall in the sunshine. And that will close the Kentucky 4th, but not before Cats ask, what can Brown do for you?
Oh, just go ahead and get up big time, big fella. A little loud noise from the Kentucky offense going downtown to get on the board.
One-run game, bottom of the 4th inning, and now we have ace versus ace. Max Yale on the mound for West Virginia, and Kentucky turns it over to their Friday night guy, Jackson Jelkin.
Fastball, curveball, little cutter and change. Strikeout machine this year, and you could kind of see the chessboard and the pieces moving here. Nick Mingione wasting no time, wanted to take the offensive momentum right to the mound.
Jelkin threw in game 1 for Kentucky against Wake Forest. He threw 98 pitches on Friday afternoon over 6 innings, struck out 5 and walked none. College pitcher throws 98 on Friday. How many is he good for on Monday?
Again, what I hope, or if I'm a Wildcat fan, I want it at least 3 innings, if not more.
There was some question Thursday night that Jelkin would even get the ball on Friday. He threw for Kentucky in the SEC tournament and had a slip coming off the mound and experienced some lower back tightness. And so they gave him a little bit more rest in between that early loss in Hoover and the start here. We saw Jelkin last night put his spikes on, go to the bullpen, get stretched out a little bit with the bands, put the glove on. Was that all for show?
I would have loved to have known what a conversation between he and head coach Nick Mingione would have been early in the day, and I would have to believe that, hey, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to play catch, and then I'll radio back to you. If I'm able to go, it's got to be I got to feel 95% or better. If it's 94%, we wait until tomorrow.
Kresser fouls another one off. Jelkin was a 14th round pick of the Dodgers in 23. And then again in the same round, then a 9th round pick of the Mets in 24. Turned them both down to stay at his hometown school and pitch for Nebraska. That lasted a year. And a strikeout looking for Kresser. Then he went the community college route. Ended up at Houston in 24. Had Tommy John. He was out of the game last year. And in fact, at this time of the season, he was throwing to his own team. And Nick Mingione said, hold on, you're too good. We need some confidence going into the postseason. Please don't embarrass our hitters anymore as we go into the regional.
Well, no better time to get yourself acquainted with what you will face in a regional to try and make your way through the postseason. You see his pitch usage there.
And a capper to third. Cerny with the backhand off balance throw. Beautiful reception by Brown at first to take it off the hop and get out of the way of the runner Lumsden.
Oh man. Third base has been a real place of trepidation for the Kentucky defense the last couple of nights with the freshman Caden Cloud, but boy, the senior Tyler Cerny, yes sir indeed, and Hudson Brown to boot. All around excellence from the Kentucky defense.
Here's Tyrus Hall, and they're not used to that over the course of this season. Kentucky has been a lower level defensive team, bottom third of the SEC in fielding percentage and errors. Stands in stark contrast to West Virginia, which leads the Big 12 conference in fielding. Ball and a strike to Hall, who is 0 for 1, struck out swinging to end the second against Susie, who by all accounts did what was asked of him, 2 runs over 3 innings. And Jelkin at 96. When they say went, takes a count to 1 and 2.
Already a good indicator right there. Usually the top of the velo chart would be 96 for Jackson Jelkin, period.
He's feeling it. That's at 97.
This is the first innings adrenaline. Now let's see when you have to sit back down and get back up again. Just a couple of days removed from almost 100 pitches.
I think he wants number 1 again. 2-2. Up. This is with the bender, full count.
You got to be encouraged if you're the Kentucky dugout right here. You got your main weapon, your ace, full attack, pin your ears back, go after him.
Swing and a miss. Takes care of the 9-hole hitter Tyrus Hall.
Little change up, little change of pace. Kentucky trying to fight back.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on.
Super Regional tickets continue to be punched. That includes Cal Poly's first regional win in program history. They get the winner of this Morgantown Regional. Cal Poly knocked off St. Mary's. It was the #1 overall seed UCLA hosting Los Angeles Regional. They became the first #1 seed to lose their opener. And here's a little bit on Cal Poly.
We now have 2 #4 seeds that have made a Super Regional.
Ran through the postseason, 6 wins in 7 games. Here's Tyler Cerny to lead off the 5th. Trying to follow that Fresno State run from back in the day and be a 4 to win it all.
Little Rock and St. John's, those 4 seeds. St. John's.
Little Rock in the Supers for the first time. They get the winner of the Gainesville Regional. That one ongoing. Cerny with the tapper to short. Einish from deep. And off the leather of Guzman. Well, Einish just kept sliding. He ended up almost in shadow center.
Yeah, it certainly did. And again, the momentum carrying there, affecting the accuracy of the throw. Taking another look at it, it's got a long way to go on the fly, and the footwork just tripping him up a little bit. Brings Guzman off the bag, and Kentucky in business here again to start the 5th.
8-hole hitter Carson Hansen at the plate. And Yale misses with the breaking ball, 1-0. They ruled that a base hit for Cerny. And he becomes the second Kentucky leadoff hitter to reach base. Tarnish was stranded back in the 1st. Bunt's popped up, and Yale's got it. Lack of execution by Kentucky, 1 down.
Yeah, rarity for this group, who have usually prided themselves on being able to do the little things to get those runners into scoring position, but just not able to get the bat to the top part of the zone to get that ball down on the ground. And a critical first out here for West Virginia.
By the way, Florida's finally on the board. It's a 2-1 lead for Troy in the bottom of the 5th in Gainesville. And still to come late tonight, Auburn meets up with Milwaukee. And as soon as we finish here, Trojans Aggies, Southern Cal versus A&M, as Ian Korn, who was pressed into emergency action when Yale was on the mound a couple of nights ago, is getting loose.
3 2/3 of relief, 6 hits, 4 runs he gave up, and you wonder where the leash is for Max Yale, already at 66 pitches into the 5th.
Upstairs to Jenkins.
I think 75 pitches would have been my mark. If I'm Steve Sabins, that's where I would have gone and said, okay, at that point I've got to make a decision. If he's going and he's cruising, we go out to out.
If a pitcher is aware of his limit in a scenario like this isn't spring training where you're just building up and you're going to add 10 or 15 every time out. If you're aware that the number is 75, how does that impact you mentally when you get up into the high 60s?
I don't think they told him. If I were Steve Sabins, I wouldn't have. I'd have said, hey, you feel good? You're my guy? Let's go. And then internally you have that conversation with your coaching staff. The eyes will tell you everything, and at least the first time around the order, job well done. Second time, continue to evaluate here.
They threw a complete game against Kansas, 124 pitches in Lawrence. And Saban started to ask him after the 7th, are you doing good? He said, yeah, it's my game. Then after the 8th, hey, you've done enough. Poured your heart and soul into it. And he said, no, it's my blanket game to finish. And he did. 3-1. We were talking with Max Yale a few days ago about how he handles the emotions, and he said, you know, I was a high school hockey player. Hockey emotion was really easy, but I didn't know how to handle the transition from hockey to baseball. Some days I'd be way too intense. Others, I'd be way too laid back. And so I had to learn how to find the middle of those extremes. Ines shuffles it to Kresser onto first, and a double play for the Mountaineers to get out of the fifth. Just a 9-pitch inning for the ace, Max Yale.
Well, pitcher's best friend, it's exactly what you're looking for to cut down some momentum. Little 6-4-3 for the Twin killing halfway home in Morgantown.
Big 12 pitcher of the year, Max Yale, allowed the leadoff man to reach and then got a double play. He's made one mistake so far in this one. That was a solo home run from Hudson Brown in the fourth.
Well, he's been absolutely spectacular. First thing you need, fastball command. Second, you got to be able to pitch ahead in the count. And third, the icing on the cake. How about this breaking ball that has deceived Kentucky bats for the majority of the night? It has been just what the Mountaineers wanted. 5 stellar innings and an inning-ending double play that has Max Yale in the driver's seat and West Virginia feeling great here tonight.
Just 9 pitches to get through the fifth, thanks to the Twin killing. Jackson Jelkin's second inning of work. It'll be the top of the order. High leverage situation. Guzman, Kelly, then Schoenfeld. The Big 12 pitcher of the year on the mound for West Virginia. Following us tonight, USC and A&M. And USC will send Grant Govell to the mound. He's first team all Big Ten. And he started the regional opener against Texas State. So there'll be recycled pitching all throughout college baseball on this winner-take-all Monday. 2-1 to Guzman.
Top of the order now getting their first look at right-hander Jackson Jelkin, trying to drive him up in the pitch count department as well.
Guzman, honorable mention, all Big 12, into the left field corner. Hanson deep on the run, and that one is a fair ball. One hops the wall, and Guzman strides into second with a long leadoff double.
How impressive has this man been? The lineup shift yesterday where Steve Sabins was trying to get a little igniter, and that's all that AG Armani Guzman has been. Yeah, this ball kept tailing down the left field line. It ends up one-hopping off the wall, and that right there, an extra base hit for West Virginia, already in business to try and lengthen the lead.
And the best hitter for West Virginia at the plate is Gavin Kelly. And Jelkin misses on the first offering, 1-0. We've seen Jelkin's fastball up into the upper 90s, 97 today. Velocity is not something that Kelly has an issue with. Against fastballs of 94 plus, he's hitting .467 with an OPS of 1467. So, changeup, slider, changeup.
You would think the changeup would be a huge weapon. And there you go.
So 2-1 with Guzman at second. Top of the lineup getting it done for the Mountaineers. Now 4 through 9. Pardon me. 4 through 9 is 5 for 9. Another changeup.
And with that shift over the left side, that's exactly by design here. And that pitch call trying to keep Guzman with a ground ball to the left side from advancing another 90 feet.
35 bags on the year for Guzman. Jelkin comes home. Well, do you throw him a fastball?
Boy, with a base open, dicey.
Choices to pitch to him or last night's hero. 3-2. And he tugged it. Went with the changeup again. And there's 2 on now for Paul Schoenfeld. And this place knows exactly who's coming to the plate now. Schoenfeld is 0 for 2 tonight. Go-ahead 2-run home run over the wall and right into the home bullpen last night. And he shows bunt again. West Virginia is 0 for 7 with runners on base tonight.
A recurring theme. Last night, double-digit runners left on base. So many chances to put it away.
To the left side and thrown. Guzman will motor home. Kelly stops at second. West Virginia leads 3-1.
Well, put a hit in the wrist column. The hero a night ago extends the Mountaineer lead to 3-1. And just simple hitting right here. Not trying to do too much. High velo. Let's not hit it into the shift. Beautiful job shooting it through. Guzman come on down. Just another solid job at the top of this lineup doing damage as West Virginia extends to a 3-1 lead.
And now the building has come alive. Kentucky's gone in the Lions' den already this season. Road series at LSU and Ole Miss, just to name a few. Kentucky did not play a single SEC road game in front of a crowd of less than 5,000. Popped up the shallow center in tarnish. That being said, there was no doubt for anyone who was here or watching on television last night that the atmosphere did not impact Kentucky in the night.
Not at all. I mean, what you have to do now in this situation, if you're Jackson Jelkin, first pitch strike, right on right matchup here. You've been great against right-handed hitters all year, and the inning double play still in effect.
Kentucky's only turned 36 double plays on the season. In for a strike to Gravlin. That's middle of the pack in the SEC. Gravlin struck out looking to end the first. He drew a walk in the third. Head coach Nick Mingione trying to get this team back to Omaha. 3 wins away. Into right field. In front of Van Cleve. Around third, Kelly. Schoenfeld to third. And it's an RBI double for Matthew Gravlin. And West Virginia extends the lead, now up 3.
Back-to-back big knocks. Middle of the lineup coming through in a huge way and doing it against the Kentucky ace. Simple approach. Just shoot it down the right field line using all parts of the field. And West Virginia is playing ring around the rosy now.
Infield in for Matt Einish, who is 0 for 2. Ira Austin is warming for Kentucky. Jelkin breezed through the fourth, but the bottom third down in order. It started the 5th against the heart of the lineup, and he is struggling now. Last time infield was in, Bell handled a ground ball, but he had no chance to get the runner. Got a great jump. That was Guzman.
Well, they're coming home, no question about it, if they get the chance here.
Schoenfeld's got good speed at third. Jelkin hits 96 for strike 2 on Einish.
You got to stay with it now. I think you got to challenge fastball here. Elevate if you can. Changeup is a weapon if you want. But go with your best bolt.
And the slider's fouled off.
I don't like that right there. You have him set up at 1 and 2. You just had 96. Your changeup's been really good to lefties so far. And a changeup executed right would get you a ground ball.
Einish only hitting a .190 against changeups this year. He has handled the fastball. And now 95 up and away. West Virginia has made Kentucky work. The Kentucky staff has already thrown 100 pitches in this game, while West Virginia's thrown 2/3 as many. And low with the changeup, full count. And he hit him. And they catch a break because the run would have scored. And they'll put the runner back at third. So a hit by pitch will load the bases. Tough to think of loading the bases as catching a break, but it saved him a run for a moment.
Decision time now for Nick Mingione. You can tell that Jelkin is teetering. The command has started to elude him here. No big deal, and you're right. Definitely would have scored at least one. They will tend to Matthew Einish as Steve Sabins will take a trot over to check on him.
And now with Sabins and the athletic trainer checking on Einish, it gives Kentucky and its coaching staff more time to figure out if they want to go to Austin and more time for Austin to get loose.
Well, if you're West Virginia and you knock Jelkin out here in favor of Austin, you have now taken the best weapon away from the Kentucky bullpen in short order.
Dan Roselle, the Kentucky pitching coach, to the mound. So not likely a change here because it's not Mingione. Of note with Kresser, he only has 2 home runs on the season, but one of them was a grand slam. In fact, of the first 12 home runs that West Virginia hit this year, a quarter of them were grannies.
I think this visit is primarily one just to catch a breath. Also a little scouting report here. And just a reminder, it is right on right here. It's been a strength for Jelkin. You would have to imagine if you can get a fastball in, you'd be great with it, but the changeup could be good for you as well.
Bases loaded for Brody Kresser. West Virginia has never advanced out of its own regional. And squeeze with the bases juice. Well, we're pulling all punches.
I guess. Infield drawn in, and you know that Jelkin is crashing anyway. Interesting strategy here from West Virginia with less than 2 outs. And all you would need is the shovel for the force at home.
Kresser is just 3 for 17 in this regional. A couple of Ks tonight. And now 0-2.
All the weapons available here for Jelkin. Can elevate with a fastball, could go back to the breaking ball if he wanted to.
And the breaking ball's popped up. Tyler Bell has it. Infield fly rule in effect. Huge second out, and West Virginia played into their hands by trying to bunt with the bases
Just
loaded.
gave away a strike. And again, think of the other side. Jelkin's wavering a little bit. So why allow him a chance to catch his breath, regain at least a little confidence in the at-bat? Now he's a pitch away from escaping further damage.
And that will give Kentucky a lot of wiggle room in the bullpen if Jelkin can get out of this, but he's facing his 8th batter of the inning. And just a few days removed from starting this regional on Friday when he threw 96 pitches. This is Ben Lumsden. In the 2 games that these teams have already played against each other this weekend, the momentum ping-pong back and forth seemingly every half inning. And now Kentucky would hold that momentum if Jelkin can get out of this. The 0-2. Grounded to the right side. Hindle's got it. And they leave the bases loaded. West Virginia has already stranded 7 runners tonight. But they get 2 runs here in the 5th.
Well, a huge offensive outburst is one you've been waiting to see. It's almost been exploded here, but they'll take it. A 4-1 lead headed to the 6th.
And so Max Yale's night is done. 5 innings, 6 Ks, only 1 mistake. The solo home run to Hudson Brown, and a gutsy effort to give him 70 pitches.
That's exactly what you wanted if you were Steve Sabins, and now you turn it over to the senior Ian Korn, who was absolutely outstanding in relief of Yale just a couple of nights ago. It'll be primarily fastball slider, and for him, boy, the adrenaline's got to be pumping knowing you've got a multiple run lead with a chance to get this into the late frames.
Korn was pressed into action when Yale left his start early in the first matchup between these two. And he was able to give him a lengthy outing in the game Saturday night. Top of the order here. Tarnish, Bell, and Lawrence due for Kentucky.
Huge response inning right now. And Jelkin wriggles off the hook. And if you're Ian Korn, big shutdown opportunity right here.
And the first pitch, grounder to the left side. Einish on the ride. And he gets the speedy Tarnish.
Little 1 pitch, 1 out. Exactly what you want as a reliever coming in. Appreciate you, Mr. Einish. It's showdown time with Kentucky's best bowler at the plate.
Bell went 1 for 3 head-to-head with Korn on Saturday night. And a swing and a miss. Ian Korn, sinker slider. We'll mix in a four-seamer, and he finds a strike, 0-2.
It's exactly what you ask of your relievers. Just come out, pumping strikes with a multiple run lead, challenge, especially where you are at the top of the order.
It was a 70-pitch outing on Saturday night out of the bullpen. And Korn had to be surprised that he was called on so early when Yale left in the first.
Not the way he probably envisioned coming to the park and seeing his opportunity in the game, period.
And he gets Bell, nicked him in the foot. It's the second time Tyler Bell's been hit by a pitch in this game. Reminder, if you're late to the party, Kentucky is 4th in the country in hit by pitches.
It's a breaking ball that catches the back toe. Tyler Bell. It's been an epidemic for sure.
Here's Luke Lawrence. First pitch away to Lawrence, who's been limited to a DH role. .340 average with 3 home runs for Lawrence. It's been a long journey for Luke Lawrence to get to this point. He started his college career Division III Webster in St. Louis. So the former Gorlock then went to Illinois State before making his way to Lexington. Pulled down the line, foul.
I knew you'd find a way to work it in tonight. Gorlock.
Webster's got to be the only Gorlock mascot in the entire country.
Would love some Gorlock swag. Like, love a workout shirt or a polo.
Yeah, face of a St. Bernard, claws, and fire breathing. We're just making stuff up these days. Swing and a miss. Is it easier for a guy like Korn, giving his pitch usage, to come back on short rest?
Oh, I think for him, it's just knowing that it's not a matter of trying to get distance. I'm just collecting outs right now, and I'm letting it eat. And I think for the Arsenal, when you look how primary fastball slider he is, a lot easier to just execute with 2 pitches, feel good about it, and if you need to deal a 3rd or 4th, then so be it.
It is a luxury for West Virginia to go from the Big 12 pitcher of the year, the first team all-conference pitcher in Korn. Before he got to West Virginia, he was the Division II player of the year. His fastball has clicked up a few miles an hour since he made it to campus. Two and two.
Pretty close right there. Like the fastball, like the intent behind that pitch.
Caught just a stitch. Mentioned Korn was the Division II player of the year. He was at Seton Hill. First team All-America by 3 different publications last year at the Division II level. His 3rd season playing in Division II. And a soft line drive gets down, and a knock for Lawrence. And Kentucky's in business. 2 on with only 1 out. And Hudson Brown coming up, who homered his last time up.
Same refrain, right? There is a lot of fight in this Kentucky offense, and it has been this part of the lineup that has provided the resistance. So now, if you're Ian Korn, again, still everything in front of you right here, they are going to shift it over to the right side with the left-handed hitting Hudson Brown. They'll get a visit to the mound first.
There is no action in the West Virginia bullpen, but it is fully stocked. Everybody's out there waiting their turn. What's this conversation like?
Again, I think just to kind of slow things down here and realizing you're still a ground ball away from getting out of the frame. but also kind of talking too. Remember, the run game is something where they're going to try and create a little chaos. Kentucky will, and then probably just a quick reminder, hey, you got speed on here, just be mindful.
Speed on the bases and some surprise pop at the plate.
Absolutely. That is a big boy home run right there. Vapor trail behind it. That would get Kentucky on the board in the 4th inning. A fist pump to boot.
And Brown chops it to first. Guzman steps on the bag. It's enough to advance both runners, but it's the 2nd out of the inning.
Right back into the zone. Great visit right there from Gavin Kelly. Just kind of getting the troops together. Hey, we're fine.
So 2 in scoring position for 21-year-old Ethan Hindle, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Hindle is turning it up at the right time. He's hitting .383 in the month of May, or did hit .383 in the month of May. We're in June now, and is swing and a miss.
Right-handers have struggled mightily against the breaking ball, especially against Korn with runners in scoring position right at the Mendoza line.
Misses outside. And now the 1-1 will wait. The lack of fundamentals that we've seen between these two teams over the course of the weekend makes you hold your breath every time you put the ball anywhere but the plate.
Just asking for trouble. If that goes into center field, it's at least a run, if not 2.
Sinker for a strike. 1-2.
Yeah, get back to focus. Priority 1 at the plate.
And a little roller on an excuse me swing. Guzman gathers, and Kentucky with a missed opportunity. No runs on a hit. A pair left. Korn does his job, middle of the 6th. In the visor in the middle of your screen is former West Virginia head coach Randy Mazey, his wife Amanda Nexum, wearing his vintage jacket from about 15 years ago. West Virginia head coach from 13 to 24. They hosted a regional in 19 with Alec Noah on the mound, first round pick, and couldn't get out of here. Duke upset West Virginia. In for a strike on the first pitch to Tyrus Hall. Great visit with the first couple of West Virginia baseball before the game today.
Indeed, yes, always great to see them. Randy Mazey actually recruited yours truly back when he was at the University of Tennessee.
How'd that work out?
Well, it wasn't the fit then. We did have a little back and forth with my time at Vanderbilt, but couldn't have been kinder and understood. It's a business. It's a process. But had the Tucson Regional in 2024 when West Virginia broke through his final season. Of course, J.J. Weatherholt leading that team as they would advance to the Chapel Hill Regional. Super Regional, I should say. What a fun team that was to watch. Incredible grit. Weatherholt was actually a bit injured there, was trying to play his way through it. They got a couple of amazing pitching performances. Arizona out as the 1 seed in that regional. Grand Canyon gave them all they could handle. Dallas Baptist was there. What a story that team was.
Tyrus Hall 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. Jelkin labored through the 5th, but he got a new lease on it when he worked out of the bases loaded jam. He's had 141 pitches on the weekend. And he blows 95 right past the 9-hole hitter Tyrus Hall. Well, the last 2 NCAA regionals, you mentioned Tucson in 24. And last year in Clemson, where they won it, knocking off Kentucky in the regional final. A massive comeback with 6 in the 8th inning to win 13-12. And this guy at the plate, Armani Guzman, was the MVP of that regional, provided the walk-off. Well, won a walk-off, pardon me. Provided the game winner.
Imagine what Selection Monday was like when they saw the draw. Like, oh, we can see each other again? Cool.
Those guys. We just saw them in the fall when we played an exhibition against them. In for a strike, 1-1. Steve Sabins for 9 seasons was Randy Mazey's assistant. So they still talk regularly about the team, and they communicate so well that into the glove of Brown. He said, when Mazey picks up the phone to call me, we speak the same language, and I already know what he's going to say, but it helps to have a guy who's been there to confirm what I've already seen with my own eyes.
And again, just the working relationship, too, all the faith in the world that you've been groomed for it. You've had one of the great mentors in all of college baseball the last couple of decades. And, I mean, you don't even use the word internship. What a mentorship and an ability to kind of use each other, and the old iron sharpening iron theory at work.
Kelly drives this one into the left field corner. Hanson to the fence, and it sneaks over. It just goes over the tapered wall in left, and Kelly's got his 16th of the year. .348 feet over the wall in left.
Wow, what a blast.
Kelly's 3rd of the weekend.
99 on the exit velo, but that had a little topspin to it. And the tapered fence, not high enough to hold Kelly. West Virginia adds another. They lead 5-1.
It's about a 20-foot wall at the foul pole that goes all the way down to 8 in front of the bullpen.
I told you yesterday, he's got a little Fernando Tatis Jr. to him with the follow through, and boy, oh boy, was that a big league swing right there.
Schoenfeld bangs it up the middle. Another 2-out hit for West Virginia.
You can start to see where Jelkin is leaking over the big part of the plate. High danger, especially to this part of the lineup, and Ira Austin again warming in earnest in the Wildcat bullpen.
Nick Mingione on the top step. This will be the end of the line for Jelkin after 52 pitches, and the home crowd with a 4-run lead will chase the ace. And they can taste an invite to the Super Regional.
won't be the end that Jackson Jelkin had envisioned. Neither will it be for the Wildcats. But the ace will have to find a place on the bench as the Mountaineer offense continues their assault on the Kentucky bullpen.
Jelkin goes an inning and 2/3. Ira Austin is coming out of the Kentucky bullpen. And he'll face Sean Smith with 1 on and 2 out. We'll tell you about Austin after this. Ira Austin on the mound for Kentucky, 1 on and 2 out. And he's facing Sean Smith. What can we expect from Ira Austin?
Ken, you're going to see a lot of breaking balls here. Been a guy that with that little sidearm funky delivery, he's the fireman tasked with trying to put this flame of the West Virginia Mountaineer offense out.
Austin has thrown against West Virginia twice this weekend already. Saturday night and Sunday night. And last night lasted 2/3 of an inning, allowed a hit and struck out 1.
And also has that fastball too, where it's going to kind of have that sink action into the right-handers. You can see why he is really great there. .195 average against the righties in 2026.
Off the knuckles to second, and only 1 needed. But Gavin Kelly is doing Gavin Kelly things. He's already scored 3 runs in this game.
The man you wanted to play the big moments. He has risen to it. Liner over the left field fence. A regional to remember for GK.
Stanley Cup final gets underway Tuesday night. Game 1 with the Golden Knights taking on the Hurricanes, 8 Eastern. You can watch it live on ABC, and always you can stream it on the ESPN app. First pitch fouled off by Braxton Van Cleve. Are we sure that was water in his dish?
Well, that, and I mean, he came dressed to impress. Is it a jean jacket?
1-1 to Braxton Van Cleve.
A little breezy on the hill at night, so keep the pups warm.
I mentioned Van Cleve has had a wild ride already, coming off of Tommy John surgery when he came to campus in the fall, and had a rough fall facing Kentucky pitchers. Nick Mingione had to pull him aside and said, listen, it's going to be a learning curve for you. A, you're a freshman. B, you're coming off of injury. Just stay the course, because you caught a double whammy. And then Midway through SEC play, he hit a grand slam against Vandy, and he hasn't looked back since. Sinker for a strike, 3-2.
Well, if you're Ian Korn right now, you can start to smell it. You are 9 defensive outs away from punching your ticket to the Super Regional.
And another one for strike 3. And Van Cleve goes down looking.
Well, just a perfectly painted fastball. Pitch presentation from Gavin Kelly. Smooth operator right there to steal a strike. And Braxton Van Cleve not too pleased. Thought he had ball 4. And that'll be out number 1 of the 7th.
Tyler Cerny is 1 for 2. Both Kentucky hitters in the 7th attacking the first pitch.
7 strikeouts against the Kentucky offense between Max Yale and Ian Korn thus far.
To Guzman. 2 down. And if you're going to ask Korn to get through the lineup only once, he's on the verge of doing that clean, but maybe you stick with him in the 8th. Who do you think's next out of the pen for West Virginia?
I think you could look at Cole as that sinker ball guy. Again, if you just need to clean up an inning and have him bring it home, you think it's strike throwing, which, let's face it, the last 2 nights, it's been touch and go for these staffs. He looks comfortable watching Ian Korn, though, right now, just carve up this Kentucky lineup.
Nothing in 2. Swing and a miss. Korn puts him down in order in the 7th. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Kendrick Family Ballpark, Morgantown, West Virginia. An incredible scene all weekend here. And they want to be playing baseball in the same park next week. With a win tonight, the Mountaineers would do that and would host Cal Poly with a trip to Omaha on the line. In for a strike to Matthew Gravlin to start things off. Ballpark named for Ken Kendrick, owner of the Diamondbacks and a WVU grad. And it's funny when you think about a guy of his stature. He's also a huge West Virginia fan, so much so that a few years ago in the draft room for the Diamondbacks, they took a Marshall pitcher. He was so mad he got up and walked out of the draft room. All respect to Aaron Blair, but it's not what he had in mind.
And the man's writing the checks, and you're not respecting it. He's going to come down hard on you.
Graveline doubled home a run his last time up. And a hard hit ball to left field, and another hit for Graveline. By the way, Cal Poly will be the opponent for whoever wins as Cal Poly breezed through the Los Angeles Regional as the #1 overall seed. UCLA was eliminated. We've had the #1 seed and the #2 seed both go down as Georgia Tech got walked off by Oklahoma tonight.
So Georgia remains the #3 seed, the highest seed alive right now.
Georgia will host Mississippi State next weekend. Breaking ball to second. Hindle to second for one. Bell on to first. And a 4-6-3 double play.
Well, it's what Ira Austin does with that sidearm delivery and the ability to sink the fastball and throw the curveball with conviction. It's a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play.
And here's Kresser, who is 0 for 3. By the way, speaking of upsets, Florida is on the ropes. Troy leads the Gators 7-2 in Gainesville. That one's headed to the 8th. And if Troy wins, we'll have Trojans versus Trojans. They'll take on Little Rock in a super regional.
My goodness. #4 Auburn in action later tonight as well on the Plains.
You didn't have Trojans versus Trojans on your bingo card, did you?
Sure did not. But here we are.
Troy would host that super should they hold on to the lead.
Oh.
2-1.
Has this been the most chaos you've seen in recent memory as far as national seeds not making it out of the regional?
You know, it started a couple of years ago, and last year Vandy was the #1 seed, didn't make it out of its own regional. The parity is at next level because you know what we'll have? No matter what happens the rest of the way, we'll have a brand new field in Omaha. None of the 8 that were there last year are still alive.
That's just a mind-blowing thing to wrap your head around.
And keep in mind the reigning national champions, LSU, didn't even make the field. Breaking ball hammered to third off of Cerny's glove. It hurries and late.
Now that had a vapor trail on the back of it, and Tyler Cerny did all he could to try and snare it. Third base has just been a real hard spot for Kentucky defensively here in Morgantown.
First start of the weekend for Cerny. Inning extended for Ben Lumsden. And he hits it hard up the middle. That'll get through. Kresser's motoring to third. Mountaineers have runners at the corners as they keep the pressure on.
Well, feeling the opportunity for the knockout punch. West Virginia continues the onslaught. The pressure mounts, and it's the bottom of the lineup again, finally getting in on the act.
Here's Tyrus Hall. He's trying to get off the schneid. He's got a hat trick so far tonight. And the first pitch breaking ball from Austin, 1-0.
Austin's got to find a way to put up a 0 here. Can't go any further knowing just 6 offensive outs to play with.
He's faced 5 batters. He's allowed 3 singles.
One big swing from Tyrus Hall to put this puppy on ice.
Swing and a miss at 95 up in the zone, and Austin closes the door and puts up a 0. It wasn't without some stress. Getting late for the Cats as we head to the 8th.
Exclusively on ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Owen Jenkins takes a slider to start the 8th inning. West Virginia with a 5-1 lead, and Kentucky only 6 outs remaining to make some noise. Into right field, Lumsden deep into the corner, and in foul territory, handles it, 1 down. How about the job Ian Korn has done tonight?
Oh my, how about both the arms tonight? Max Yale, incredible job bouncing back from not making it out of the first inning a couple of nights ago. Sparkling effort, only 3 hits and the single run allowed. And how about now, 2 1/3 scoreless for Ian Korn, who was the fireman himself coming in relief of Yale.
West Virginia forced a decisive Game 7 with a massive comeback last night, scoring 5 unanswered. Here's Jace Tarnish. Kentucky had been 3 outs away from advancing to the Super Regional. Kendrick Family Ballpark, Morgantown, West Virginia. Tom Hart with Jensen Lewis. The winner of this one gets Cal Poly in a best-of-3 Super Regional to make it to the Men's College World Series in Omaha. Saturday night, Tarnish provided the game winner against West Virginia. Did he go? He did. 1-2.
Well, if we know anything, the late frames between these two the last couple of times, just when you think things are sewn up, they get burst open.
Fastball inside. Mountaineers fans besides himself at that call.
Ian Korn won absolutely to take this home himself. He's been brilliant.
West Virginia is hosting for the third time. They hosted in 1955 and then not again until 2019. The third oldest program in the Big 12. They've been playing since 1892. And despite the fact they've gone to back-to-back super regionals, they've never made it to Omaha.
Talk about hosting at the beginning of the tournament, how critical it is to be a host and how much of an advantage it is as a 1 seed. And when we found out UCLA was defeated, boy, did that open it wide for the pathway to the Supers.
Einish got him. 2 down. And West Virginia now 4 outs away from hosting Cal Poly.
What a scene this place would be next weekend.
Get your table at Stefano's early. Foul tip by Tyler Bell.
Stay a while too.
Yes. Bell rolls it off of his foot. Well, Tyler Bell was injured early this season. He suffered a shoulder injury, and with Nick Mingione called around to different scouts and major league front offices, he asked them a question. If he doesn't play again, would he still be a first rounder? And the unanimous answer he got was yes, but Tyler wanted nothing of that. He came back to try to finish it, and he sends a sinking line drive to left. 2-out single for Tyler Bell. First team all-conference shortstop in the SEC.
And that swing is exactly why. 0-2 down to the count, no big deal. Very quiet with the stance, and we'll just corner pocket that one with authority. 96 miles an hour on the exit speed, but more important, the swing in a non-advantage count, next level.
First 2-out hit for Kentucky tonight, and now Luke Lawrence.
No action in the West Virginia bullpen. This is Ian Korn's game.
Oh-2 to Lawrence. Outside. Clean baseball for the Mountaineers tonight. And that one finds the hole. Lawrence with a 2-out knock.
Here we go again. The late frames and the high drama. No lead is safe between these two teams. It was Kentucky with a 3-run advantage heading into the 9th inning yesterday. It's a 4-run advantage for West Virginia right now with 2 down in the 8th. And the tying run is in the hole here for the Wildcats.
Steve Sabins comes out of the West Virginia dugout. He's headed to the mound to have a word with his infield and with Ian Korn. Pull out your phone, scan the QR code. You can find ESPN Squeeze Play, which right now it's got a 2-box going with our game and the matchup in Gainesville, where Florida is up against it late.
And now you're getting a little stirring, and that is indeed Chanson Cole, who's going to start getting it hot. Steve Sabins not going to take any chances. Faithful here, wanting nothing more than to get this to be the site next week with a chance to punch a ticket to Omaha.
Hudson Brown's got a home run tonight. And he drives this one deep to right field. It is way out of here. A 3-run home run and a brand new ball game. Blue got in, and that pocket of ballpark is losing its collective mind while everybody else is silent. Second bomb of the night for Brown. That one 440 feet, and it's a 1-run contest.
We just got done talking about how the late frames have been absolute anarchy. The swing is absolutely gorgeous. Almost carbon copy of the one that he had earlier. And that one deep into the early dusk here in Morgantown.
3 straight 2-out hits for Kentucky as Ethan Hindle waves at the first. 2 bombs tonight for Brown, who came in with only 5 home runs on this season. Whew. The 0-2 to Hindle. Lays off of it.
Well, you can walk him off the plate a little bit more. I understand the idea. Boy, a fastball in would be huge right here.
Instead, he goes back to the slider, 2-2. Why would you like the fastball in that scenario?
Because you just go in so many spots in the same place. It's the same pitch. If nothing else, change what the hitter has seen thus far.
And there it is, and this one's lifted to left field. Back, and gone! Tie game, Ethan Hindle. Back-to-back home runs for Kentucky.
Oh my goodness. Are you serious? It's happened again.
Kentucky's got some 2-out magic. 8th 2-out RBI from the Batcats this weekend. All of them have come on home runs. And this is a team that was second to last in the SEC in home runs.
That's why the fastball in. That wasn't in, it was middle. Elevated, high danger spot.
Korn was cruising. He had retired 7 in a row before the Tyler Bell single. Then Lawrence got a single, Hudson Brown with the big stick, and Ethan Hindle with the second of 2 home runs.
Well, back-to-back homers gave Kentucky a cushion last night. They needed him tonight to try and draw back into the fight. That's your equalizer, and just over the fence. Oh, man. And Ian Korn can only watch.
Not the ending Korn had in mind. West Virginia had the best pitching staff in the Big 12. They have thrown out 2 of their best tonight, Max Yale and Ian Korn. And if they make a change here, they're going to go to Chasen Cole. And they will.
Absolute cinema right now.
What did we expect between these two?
We asked, could you top last night? We may be in for it tonight.
So Cole will enter to face Braxton Van Cleve. And you got the feeling in Nick Mingione's mind, if they could just outlast Max Yale, they'd be in position. Then Korn came in and started throwing up zeros until the 2-out 8th inning rally.
Bullpens were taxed last night.
Yep.
And to run it back tonight, you got a couple of things at play. Familiarity from some arms, but now you're digging even deeper than you thought, as Chance and Cole, who made the first start of this regional for the Mountaineers, will ascend the mound, trying to get this to the bottom of the 8th, all tied at 5.
First it was Brown, and then it was Hindle. 12th of the year for Ethan Hindle.
Just center cut. And Hindle knew it. He knew he got a good amount. Did he get enough? Yes, he did.
And then the dugout.
Oh, man.
Brown had just done it himself, but now Hindle matches him. Kentucky had 3 hits before this inning. Now consecutive. Single, 3-run home run, solo shot.
You can't even make it up. What is it about the 8th inning for these two teams?
We said last night about the Kentucky fan base. Now it applies to West Virginia. This must feel like a kick to the gut.
In the 2025 regional, the massive comeback from West Virginia to knock off Kentucky yesterday. Just incredible.
So we've already seen Chanson Cole this weekend. He got the start in West Virginia's opener against Binghamton. That was a 10-1 win. And the sophomore from Boiling Springs, South Carolina, comes in with a 9-1 record, a 2.93 ERA. He K'd 10 and walked none against the Bearcats, who were overmatched in that one, but he threw 94 pitches on Friday night.
So you'll see sinker slider change, and that was part of the thought process. If you had a high enough score and lead, you take him out against Binghamton and perhaps have an opportunity if you needed him in a Game 7, and here we are.
Here's his pitch usage, heavy on the sinker. And the changeup is fouled back. If we rewind to Friday night, it was a 10-1 win, but they didn't get that second 5-run inning until later, and so it cost them 94 pitches as opposed to perhaps 80. And another hit for Kentucky. All of this coming with 2 outs in the 8th inning, 5 consecutive 2-out hits.
Consistency compounds, a hallmark of the Kentucky program, and continuing to fight.
Tyler Cerny is the 8th batter of this inning for Kentucky. Remember, Tarnish and Bell had back-to-back home runs in the 7th last night. Now back-to-back home runs for Brown and Hindle tonight. Cerny is 1 for 3. Now 0-2.
Well, the West Virginia faithful trying to will this group back into the dugout after being hit with the haymaker here in the 8th.
Swing and a miss. That'll close it out, but not before Kentucky made some noise. Brown and Hindle, and we're tied.
Ridiculousness on so many levels. Onto the Biomechanics Performance Center and then onto the berm. All level here in Morgantown.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, Kentucky's tied this game. What a beautiful scene from Kendrick Family Ballpark. Just a gorgeous weekend of weather here in West Virginia. And here on this hill, the former Hilltopper Jack Bennett enters, senior from Paducah, Kentucky. Spent 3 seasons at Western Kentucky. He was a weekend starter for the Hilltoppers last year. 2-3 with an ERA of 6. And his second appearance this weekend.
And pressed into 4 innings of relief against West Virginia on the 30th. Fastball, cutter, slider, change on a 4-pitch mix. Strap in. Here we go again.
Top of the order for West Virginia, Armani Guzman. First pitch strike. Guzman has 2 hits and 2 runs tonight. And Guzman in foul territory. This is Cerny. He has got space and squeezed it.
Nothing been routine about Kentucky defensively at third this weekend, so you hold your breath every time it's hit there. But Cerny, a critical first out at the top of the lineup.
Bennett got the win against West Virginia. Now he's facing Gavin Kelly. It was 2 for 3 home run last time up for Kelly. Kelly's home run in the 6th gives him 19 on the year, tied for the 3rd most in single season in West Virginia history, and tied for the most ever by a Mountaineers sophomore.
Wow. I think the argument is fair, and the reaction from the West Virginia faithful warranted. Well, that pitch definitely felt low. Yep. Owen Jenkins stealing a strike, but that was a good take by Gavin Kelly. Should have been a ball.
And he strikes him out. 2 down.
Just completely changes the complexion of the at-bat. Difference between 1-1 and 0-2. That opens everything up for Jack Bennett. Beautiful breaking ball, and just a bit outside, and Gavin Kelly cannot stay alive.
See if Paul Schoenfeld still has that magic from last night. We're tied at 5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Winner take all. Schoenfeld to short, Tyler Bell. Kentucky had to work hard to get back in this game. It is tied, but it feels like the Cats have the lead. Chirping on the mound will go to the ninth.
Well, it was a pair of homers last night that gave Kentucky a cushion. They needed a couple tonight to get back in the fight. How about Hudson Brown, a 3-run bomb? And then my, oh my, Ethan Hindle, come on down. Your table is ready. And the Wildcats wilding out from their dugout. Ian Korn can't believe it. Brand new ball game here in Morgantown.
It's only the third time this season that Kentucky has hit back-to-back home runs, and 2 of the 3 have been in this regional against West Virginia. Carson Hansen is the only Wildcat that didn't come to the plate in the 8th. 4 runs on 5 hits in that frame. All of them coming with 2 out. 1-1. West Virginia led this game 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, and 5-1.
That is Dawson Montesa.
Whoa. That's a surprise, isn't it?
Well, that tells you where we are in a Game 7 with all the pitching resources nearly expended.
Leadoff walk puts Carson Hansen aboard. Steve Sabins was asked about the atmosphere here, the chaos both between the fan bases and the chirping between the teams, and he said, listen, as a staff, it's our job to have a calm voice, and now he's going to use that calm voice with Brian DeBrouwer. And he's going to head out to the mound and have a visit with Jansen Cole. And I think it can get really hard when your heart rate is up and there's so much on the line, so you don't get too tight. But certainly the chaos late last night gave us an indication that it can impact the guys in the field.
Well, we knew walking in today, kind of feeling the emotion. It was a powder keg waiting to explode. People from all corners, it felt like from the state, making their way in. And the history between these two teams, we knew there would be drama. We had no idea we'd be in store to top what happened last night.
Cole is just 11 pitches into his outing. And they stick with him with nobody out and 1 on. And Dawson Montesa kicking the ball around. He started against Wake Forest game 1 yesterday. He threw 122 pitches yesterday. They may be saving him to face the top of the order in either Tarnish or Bell. Can't imagine he would give him any more than an inning.
I don't, again, with just the health of the player trying to bounce back, that's 0 rest after arguably the most heroic performance of his career in a Mountaineer uniform.
Bunt fouled off, and it hit him, so it's a dead ball.
He could have caught that.
Yeah.
It was coming bullseye for his chest. Now you understand the situation here, why they're trying to move Carson Hansen into scoring position to set up a decision time, knowing that Jace Tarnish is on deck.
I think Mingione's going to use an offensive timeout. He's going to talk with, no, they're going to use a pinch runner here, pardon me. And Hansen will exit. You know, between innings, we saw Cameron Owens start to loosen and get some jogging in, and now Owens will enter the run here in the 9th. And this is a double move in some ways for Kentucky. You get a pinch runner in, and you get a better defensive left fielder in when you go to the bottom half of the inning. Snap throw, almost got him. Guzman was all over him. That throw was right on top of the bag.
Almost a designed idea there that catcher already knew it was going to be a snap throw to try and get the fresh legs just into the ball game, maybe asleep.
Tyrus Hall is creeping in from third. Good grab by Kelly. 2-1.
If you're chancing Cole here, again, you've got a good turbo sinker. You almost want to just start it down the middle of the plate because as a right-hander, that thing coming in, changing two planes, both vertically and horizontally, much tougher to bunt.
Gets it down, fair, only plays at first. And Owens advances on the sacrifice.
All right, mission accomplished if you're Kentucky. Now decision time if you're West Virginia. Well executed. Again, saw Tyrus Hall. He was charging the whole way. Checks the runner. Moves and counter moves now from both head coaches.
Keep a close eye on Owens with Jace Tarnish at the plate. Owens a two-way guy. He's been on the mound 3 times this season. He only has 1 stolen base and limited time on the base paths.
Armani Guzman is way off the bag at first, too. So if Tarnish sees this a long time and drives it down the line, that is counting Owens at second. And you would think with the sinker ball are doing everything they can to have Tarnish try and pull it to the left side. Hall is just off the line a bit, and Einish is much farther over in the hole.
Swing and a miss, 2 down.
Monster moment and execution from Chanson Cole. Let it eat, big fella. Oh, R-speed that baby, and then free air conditioning right over the top. Gavin Kelly loves it behind the plate. Critical second out for the Mountaineers.
Got to deal with the 2-hole hitter, Tyler Bell. Projected first-round pick this summer. Bell has reached base 3 times tonight. A hit and 2 hit by pitches.
Change up to start. Might want to go right back to it.
Back to the mound. Cole's got it. And we head to the bottom of the 9th in a tie game. A trip to the Supers on the line. We're going to the bottom of the ninth here in Morgantown. If you're waiting for USC and Texas A&M, that game is now airing on ESPN News. We will get you to Bluebell Park just as soon as we finish, where last night the Trojans snapped a streak of 14 straight regional wins by A&M at home. And first pitch fouled off by Sean Smith. The chaos continues here in Morgantown, just as expected. West Virginia won it in its last at-bat last night to force this Game 7. Smith is 1 for 4 tonight.
Now this has been outstanding from both bullpens, and again, you are at the end of your gas tank getting to this point. Guys, back-to-back days, some 3 days in a row.
3-pitch strikeout of Sean Smith, the cleanup hitter. West Virginia has used 3 starters tonight: Yale, Korn, and Cole. Meanwhile, Kentucky has attacked it a little bit differently. Jackson Susie got his first start. Jelkin came out of the bullpen. It was Austin and now Bennett. And he faces Matthew Gravlin, who's got hits in each of his last 2 plate appearances.
Breaking ball has been really good for Bennett tonight. Again, has been really good out front, forcing the right-handers to have to cover both sides of the plate.
$4,609 in the ballpark, not counting everybody watching for free on the hill. That's the second highest capacity crowd in the history of this ballpark. Pulled down the line, foul.
A collective hold your breath moment if you're a Kentucky fan. It feels in the late stages, anything that's gone to the left side, particularly to third, has had eyes of its own.
Swing and a miss, back-to-back Ks for Bennett.
This is one bad man. I mean, this is absolute ridiculousness. Breaking ball off the table. Woo! Have a night, big fella.
Here's Matt Einish. Kentucky has a new left fielder, Scott Campbell, who came in as a defensive replacement last night. He may be their best outfielder overall.
Campbell, upper 90s velocity from the outfield. 8 outfield assists, was there last night, as you mentioned, Tom, in case of a play at the plate.
Einish looking for his first hit tonight. Kind of feel like this series, this regional, but especially the history between these 2 teams, deserves extra innings with a spot on the line in the Supers. Einish, comebacker, Bennett. Wow, another huge play. Both sides playing fundamental baseball tonight. Well, it feels like a party for Kentucky. They had to fight to get back in this thing, and a 4-run rally in the top of the 8th tied it, so we go to extras. First extra inning game for West Virginia in their NCAA postseason history. Kentucky's played in a couple, and this ball's lifted to center field by Luke Lawrence. 1 down. Kentucky knocked off North Carolina State in the 2024 College World Series in 10 innings, a 5-4 win, and lost to Kent State in the Gary Regional in 2012 in a game, Jensen, that went 21 innings.
I don't think we need that tonight. I don't have. We got position players pitching if we're getting there. What a scene! What a regional.
Hudson Brown kicked off the Kentucky rally with a 2-out home run in the 8th. He's homered twice tonight.
For what it's worth, if you're a Cal Poly fan watching this right now, you are loving life. Just seeing all these pitchers go back and forth.
We're talking to Randy Mazey before the game today about their home loss in the 19 regional. They dropped the game to Duke and then got eliminated by A&M on a Bryce Blum walk-off grand slam. No matter what happens here, West Virginia will have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th. Coach Mazey. He got ejected against Duke in that regional and decided in full uniform to go up on the hill and watch the rest of the game.
I don't think there's any good seats left available up there tonight. He's in the best seat right now. Two to Brown. Well, this has been the man for Kentucky tonight. 2 huge blasts. Does he have a third in him?
Here's the payoff. Just foul, not by much.
If you're Cole, again, 3-2, left-handed bat, you do have that good changeup in the arsenal. Sinker away could get you home as well.
Shot foul the other way. Brown had a good postseason last year as a freshman, was named to the Clemson regional team. Against the Ship, it's low and away, and a 1-out walk.
How impressive have the at-bats been from Hudson Brown tonight? Has been absolutely laser focused, incredibly disciplined, and works a huge 1-out walk here in the top of the 10th.
And now Ethan Hindle, who connected for his 12th home run of the year last time up. And he sends a soft line drive into left field foul. Just hooked it.
Well, that extra base is written all over it if it stayed true. Middle of the order tonight. Luke Lawrence 2 for 5, Hudson Brown 2 for 3, and Hindle almost collected his second hit and extra base knock of the night.
They've gone final in Gainesville. Troy advances to the Super Regionals for the first time. One of either Troy or Little Rock is World Series bound.
Wow.
They will meet in the Super Regional in Troy.
I mean,
what parity this game has given us this year.
March Madness is great for everybody, but we now have made Madness into just ridiculousness in June.
Hindle didn't agree. 0-2. Tarps off for some.
Now if you're both Gavin Kelly and Owen Jenkins, absolutely got to be a wall. Cannot allow anything by you.
You throw another slider here?
I think you can. Conviction with it.
Into right field. Foul by a foot.
Oh, man. I mean, a cumulative of 3 feet on these last couple of foul balls. Distance between foul and fair territory.
One, two to Hindle.
There is action in the West Virginia bullpen, and now looking at an elevated pitch count here for Chance and Cole. Yes, the sinker is where you want to be. That is still Dawson Montesa.
And this home crowd trying to will Chase and Cole to a strikeout with a runner on in the 10th inning. Montesa got the start against Wake Forest yesterday. West Virginia needed to win 2 to force this game. And they did. And Steve Sabins, a slow walk out of the dugout. With a 1-2 count on Ethan Hindle. And only 1 out in the inning.
You have the lefty Braxton Van Cleve on deck, and then it is a trio of right-handers. Cerny, Scott Campbell just inserted, and Owen Jenkins, the freshman.
Would he go to a mid at bat?
I don't think he would. I wouldn't.
Well, he did.
He did.
Feeling that the game is on the line with a 1-2 count. And he likes the matchup that Montesa brings to Hindle. And there's no one else warming up in the bullpen. So the 10th should be Dawson Montesa's, who was a rubber arm yesterday. 7 1/3 in the win against Wake Forest on 122 pitches. How many bullets does he have left in his musket? Tied at 5 in the 10th. Yesterday's starter against Wake Forest in game 1 of the day, Dawson Montesa, enters out of the West Virginia bullpen. 7 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs. He walked for it, allowed a couple of home runs. And he inherits a 1-2 count on Ethan Hindle with the runner on.
I mean, I understand all hands on deck. We're way out there now.
Just off the plate with 97. Montesa started against Wake, but in the Big 12 tournament, he came out of the bullpen. In fact, 3 of his last 4 appearances came out of the pen. Back to the heat and fouled off.
I mean, pure adrenaline right now. I don't know if it's a fair comp, but we just saw a World Series where Yoshi Yamamoto came in on 0 days rest, had over 100 pitches, and came in and closed out the World Series north of the border. This would be epic.
And another fastball, that one up, 3-2.
Make sure you stop Hudson Brown. Don't let him get a great secondary lead.
Hindle can hit the high heat. He's put up big numbers, and the breaking ball's low and away. And that's a ball 4. So, back-to-back walks. And Braxton Van Cleve to the plate. Told you the story about Van Cleve's injuries coming out of high school in Arlington, Texas, and then just a couple of weeks ago, he was involved in an on-field collision that resulted in him being taken off the field on a stretcher. That's why he's got the face mask on. He suffered a broken orbital bone when he was running the bases and ran into Arkansas shortstop Cam Kojal. So he's got a metal plate and some screws in. Chases the breaking ball, 0-2.
That was a nasty curveball. And the adrenaline kicking in big time. Look at this fall off the table for the junior right-hander. Nasty.
Does he go to the fastball here?
You better elevate it if you do.
Upper 90s fastball. And back to the breaking ball.
So again, playing along at home here. Back-to-back breaking balls. We call it a tilt. High and inside fastball. Or he can get to that changeup low and away.
Double barrel action in the West Virginia bullpen.
Josh Sergow and Reese Bassinger.
And 96 fouled off by Van Cleve.
Freshman in name only. Physique, approach, everything else extremely advanced.
Another breaking ball. Van Cleve goes down swinging, 2 down.
Well, he's feeling it, and Gavin Kelly behind the plate must have loved what he saw. Just needed it a little elevated, but that is absolute filth. Look at that. Bring it to me.
And now he's got Tyler Cerny, who doesn't have a single hit against a fastball of 94 plus all season. And a breaking ball hit to left field. Gravlin. Woo. Little dance by Gravlin in left field, but he's got it, and we go to the bottom of the 10th. Kresser's already got 1 walk-off this season. Does he have another in him for the Mountaineers? West Virginia led this game 4-1 before Kentucky rallied with a 4-run 8th, and here we are in the bottom of the 10th with a chance for some West Virginia madness. We are tied at 5. Mountaineers have 2 walk-off wins this season. One of them came from Brody Kresser at a walk-off grand slam against Columbia back on March 7th. And Kresser leads off the inning by taking a first pitch out of the zone.
Jack Bennett digging as deep as he ever has in his career.
Kresser finds a hole against the shift, and the leadoff man on.
Well, he beats the shift, and it's just a simple inside-out swing. Nothing too fancy, but you didn't need it. Just short to it, and hit it where they ain't. And you'll love the reaction, fired up for the boys. Leadoff man and the winning run at first base.
Ben Lumsden homered a couple of times in the postseason last year. Homer to start the postseason this year. Brody Kresser is 6 for 6 on the bases. One and one.
And you can here with the righty. Bennett not super quick to the plate. Now, Lumsden against right-handers, not what Jack Bennett wants to see. 294 average against lefties.
Hitters count for Lumsden. Checked it. It's a strike, 2-2.
See if we got action here at first.
Kresser being held by Brown. Not going. Full count. And a payoff to Lumsden. Ball 4. Now Adcock is throwing in the Kentucky bullpen.
Remember how much he meant last night. But a lot of mileage that he sustained yesterday to keep Kentucky in the fight.
Steve Sabins gathers his guys. He'll talk about it over in the West Virginia dugout. Wake Forest came in here in 1955, won 2 out of 3 to make it to Omaha. It was 64 years before postseason baseball returned to Morgantown, and the Mountaineers went 1-2 in their regional in 19. And now they have a chance here in the bottom of the 10th to be home again next weekend if they can send Kentucky back to Lexington.
Gotta imagine Dan Roselle out, bringing everyone together. Get a little more time for Adcock to get fully loose, but also
they brought everybody in. They're all on the mound. There is history between these programs. There was a circus of a game between these two last year in Clemson, where West Virginia rallied with a 6-run 8th inning, and this man was the one who did the most damage. Armani Guzman drove in the game winner. He was named the tournament MVP. And Guzman is now on deck.
What a scene it was as West Virginia, another epic comeback. They had the lead tonight. They surrendered it, but now a chance to walk it off in front of the home faithful.
Hatfields, McCoys.
With Pine Tar.
Tyrus Hall with his sombrero. Brown is cheating in from first, up and away.
He better be careful. Again, you would anticipate that Hall is doing nothing more than giving himself up, but you can see where Cerny is staying home just in case it comes right to him to get the wheel over to third.
Bunch popped up and it's handled. And a missed opportunity for Hall. Jack Bennett was perfectly placed. And there's one down.
Oh, man. Both sides tonight have had opportunities to be fundamentally sound and get the job done. Both times popped up and critical out for Kentucky.
Last year's hero, Armani Guzman, with an opportunity to send West Virginia to the Super Regionals. He's got 2 hits tonight. And he's ahead in the count, 1-0.
Left-handed bats have struggled against Bennett with runners in scoring position this year, .217 average, but a big hole in the left side.
Big arm in left field with Campbell. 2-0.
One pitch, one spot for Tyrus Hall. If you don't get it, you live to fight another pitch.
Guzman doesn't have a single home run this season, but he's got 18 doubles. Into center field. It gets down. Around third is Kresser. Cue Country Roads. West Virginia wins it in 10. The experts said this would be the most intriguing regional and the most well-balanced, and boy, was it. A Game 7 that's won in extra innings, and the Mountaineers will stay at home for Cal Poly next week, and they are 2 wins away from their first ever trip to the Men's College World Series.
Unbelievable weekend. These two teams, the storied rivalry that has unfolded the last handful of seasons, incredibly unlikely comebacks, flair for the dramatic, and now the moment they've all wanted.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. For college baseball, heaven is Omaha, and they can taste it. Guzman, you'll be home next weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Super regional for you and this West Virginia team. An unreal scene here. What's the secret to your late game success once again with a winner against Kentucky?
It's just trusting the process at the end of the day. It hasn't been easy for me, just like it's never been easy for anyone, but the guys who get out of it figure it out, and they just keep believing in themselves, and that's what I did.
Armani, you're on the doorstep the last couple of years, haven't been able to punch through. Guess what, pal? What's it like knowing you're staying home and you got a chance to punch your ticket to Omaha with 2 more wins?
It's beautiful, man. This freaking crowd is amazing. Got people up on the hill, you can't even see it. A million of them, and it's just crazy, man.
Could you envision this as a New York kid who went to North Georgia in the mountains to play high school ball? You find your way to this, almost heaven. You reflect on your journey. What does it mean to you?
It's been amazing, man. I told my mom my junior year of high school, I said, I'm going to go to Georgia for 2 years. Went there, got offered by West Virginia, committed. Ever since I got on campus, I've just loved this place. It's been amazing.
Your head coach is a calm presence, at least on the outside.
There he is.
Here he is greeting you.
I love this guy, man. I love this guy.
How did you guys hang in here after the 4-run 8th inning and pull it off?
It's one of those punches to the gut for sure, but it doesn't matter, man. The whole year, everybody knows the story about West Virginia baseball. We don't stop, we fight. Just like last night, down 3 in the 9th. It doesn't matter. We go and win games.
Congratulations. We'll let you celebrate with your teammates.
Yeah, I just want one more thing. I just want to shout out my mom right here in the front row. I freaking love that lady, man. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
I'll see you guys.
And West Virginia will be home next week against Cal Poly. Country roads and country tears from New York City to Morgantown, West Virginia.
Surreal finish.
Gavin Kelly named the regional MVP. What an incredible scene here in Morgantown. And they'll get to re-cue it and do it next week against Cal Poly.
When you think of the emotion of college baseball and you get to the postseason, anything is possible. Ups, downs, overcoming adversity, just when you think you're out of it, you get an absolute gem of a moment. Last night, an unforgettable homer from Paul Schoenfeld and a walk-off that will be remembered here forever.
Take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. West Virginia with a 6-5 win in 10. They had 2 on with nobody out in the 10th. And Armani Guzman, once again, the thorn in Kentucky's side for the 2nd consecutive season. Brody Kresser scores the game winner, and it is mayhem again in Morgantown.
The late inning dramatics, night after night. We were treated to arguably the best regional of the weekend, and what a scene this will look like between Cal Poly and the number 16 national seed West Virginia Mountaineers, home with a shot to get to Middle America and find themselves in Omaha.
A place they have never been as a baseball program. What a weekend here in Morgantown. Another weekend of college baseball coming up, but still there's a couple more tickets to punch, including Texas A&M and USC. We'll get there in just one moment. For Jensen Lewis, our sensational crew here in Morgantown, I'm Tom Hart. Enjoy the rest of what college baseball has to offer, and good night from almost heaven, West Virginia.